Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Banks. Tuesday, man. I got the case of the Mondays, bro.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the roller coaster that the Bengals put us through, bro. It's the cardiac cats all over again.
Yeah.
How you feeling, bro?
I am feeling much the same. I think just the start of October has been. It's been a roller coaster in these first 8 days. And the Bengals are definitely spearheading that because we just witnessed the game of the year, actually, I would say. If we weren't on the losing end of that effort, I think we would be our spirits and our city's energy and vibe would be on a whole different level in like that championship conversation because then we're both 2-3.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're in the playoff contention immediately with all because of a few things, but ultimately a missed field goal. You know what I mean? So all because of 3 points that separate, us from them.
It's been 3 points all year, bro.
It's been 3 points all year.
It's one of those things where it's Joe Burrow played just like he said, bro. He said, I got to come out and play almost flawlessly.
Flawless football. Yeah.
Other than the interception, he played flawlessly, bro. 5 touchdowns. Should have been 6.
Should have been 6.
Should
have been 6. He was so close to a 6-touchdown game. Because we're talking about what Lamar had over 400 in offense and doing his thing, but like Lamar would be looking up at that game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like entire. If you take out a week's one's performance, he's Joe Burrow's like the best quarterback in the league.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, on the real, and they're 1-4 with that, which falls on our defense. I will be straight up. The defense is definitely our Achilles heel.
Right
Achilles
now,
heel. I mean, subpar is saying it
politely.
Politely, and I do think that I do think there's a lot of let's say slice of blame pie goes around, whatever if you want to go in that kind of thing. A big chunk is going to go into the coaching bin.
Oh, yeah. It's all over Facebook, bro.
Yeah, it's got to go into the coaching bin because, let's be real, at the end of regulation against the Ravens, we chose to run the ball 3 times.
Yeah.
And our passing game was looking like we're ready to step into New Orleans this Super Bowl and go get ourselves a trophy. You know what I mean?
And at the right at halftime, bro. When there was a couple minutes left for halftime, I thought the Bengals were in a good position to kick a field goal and take the lead at halftime, right?
Yes.
And instead of doing that, they put the nuts on the line, like Chad Johnson was saying, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
They played like a championship team with 2 minutes left in the second half. Why wouldn't they do that? And what was that, like a 70-yard touchdown to Jamar right before halftime?
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where it's like, Jamar's always open, bro, just like he says. You know what I mean? And then you got T. Higgins back in there too, who's a beast, bro. Like, he is so long and lengthy that it's hard for anybody to catch a long ball over him. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. T. Higgins is a number 1 on so many different teams.
Oh, he's crazy, bro.
If you really break it down on what he offers, I mean, there's only a few wide receivers. I mean, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, maybe the Cooper Kupp. But really, like, the amount of wide receivers that are above T. Higgins are on one hand. One hand. Like, really, like, in the whole entire league. And he just happens to be sitting alongside Jamar Chase, which that guy, his separation ability, when he gets on that field, there's just these cornerbacks. And I understand anyone who really knows football, cornerback is the hardest position outside of the thinking you have to do as a quarterback. But the cornerback has to run backwards, keep an eye on the wide receiver, and keep an eye on when the ball's being thrown to a degree because he's going to be looking backwards. But he has to know how long until the wide receiver's looking up, how long the quarterback's throwing. All these things happening in like 4 seconds.
Right.
Like literally. And he's got to also athletically be able to stop him.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a hard position. So Jamar Chase running all over, making them look silly, making these.
Did you see how
professionals-
fast he ran?
Yeah.
21 miles an hour, bro.
Yeah,
Twice
21.
in the game.
Yeah, he's just elusive. He's fast. He's got hands. He makes plays, and he knows the routes that just. I mean, these
Quasar in the
quarterbacks.
building.
Hey, what's up, dude? The cornerbacks just can't touch him.
Yeah.
They literally can't do it. So you had that much talent that is available at the end of the game, and you put it in the running back's hands. And when the defense kind of knows that's coming, because we all had a feeling like if they're going to run the ball, they're going to try to settle for a field goal. The defense is expecting that. All you need is one first down, and it puts it into a 43-yard field goal,
Right.
and not a 53 for Evan McPherson. You know, and Money Mac, we love Money Mac, but the consistency's been rough this year. It
I
hasn't-
mean, there's really nothing he can do with that, though. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you want to blame Ray Finkel on the laces out,
No, absolutely,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure,
Like-
for sure. But it is a kicking situation, and in the past that would have seemed automatic. You know what I mean?
Oh,
that
for
would
sure.
have seemed automatic.
I mean,
And-
what's the rookie's name?
Rec-
Ray, yeah, like Ray
Ricky?
Ku, Ray,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
But you know, and that's one of those
Pronunciation,
things,
yeah.
man. Where like Kevin Huber was just talking about how incredible this kid is. You know how his hang time and depth on the ball is something that Kevin Huber's never seen before.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, and what his hang time was like 5.7 seconds or something like that, like over a second longer than everything else that was being kicked. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, some people blame Zach Taylor for icing his own quarterback. I mean, I feel like it wasn't icing the kicker. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like it was more like icing the rookie.
For
you
sure.
know.
I think so too. I think that moment's so big, and dude, let's be real. Evan McPherson has proven that those moments don't touch him.
Right.
You know, and he's been in the biggest.
I mean,
moments.
he's shot
Literally.
flawlessly from that side of the field too.
Yeah.
So.
But in this moment, definitely was probably the biggest moment of the year because it is the biggest game, all that. So it was another big moment. But
I mean, there was a lot on the line too, bro. Like this is Lamar. This is Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. This is basically the number 2 and number 3 quarterbacks in the league, right? So you know they're fighting for who's better, who can
better?
play the flawless game.
Who can play the flawless game? Not only who can play the flawless game, this is the divisional game. So now this game weighs even heavier because when you lose to the Ravens, now we're going to have to go to Baltimore to get that back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For
And
sure.
and that's a much harder ask than them coming here and us being on the home turf in a game that we needed. You know what I mean?
And like you said, being 2 and 3 together
Yes.
was way better than being 1 and 4 and 3 and 3
Yes. What I mean,
or
1
3 and 2.
Well, yeah. Well, 1 and 4 is you're definitely going to be on the outside looking in when it comes playoff time. But that means you have to win like 8 straight, 9 straight, 10 straight in order to really like have that. I mean, you're gonna have to really do some damage and like think about that. Like the schedule isn't gonna get lighter. Yeah, it's gonna when we place the Browns, and you know we always struggle with the Browns. But like this year's a different situation with them. I think.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure
You think we're
something
gonna
will
struggle?
happen.
Yeah. The Browns are a mess, though. I would not.
Dude, that was crazy. Just Deshaun Watson just walking off the field like that.
Dude, he's gonna find himself not having, but he's getting all the guaranteed money, bro. He's rich.
Okay, so you don't see he's
He's the only quarterback with guaranteed
and
all
that's
of it.
like looking at it as a business owner's perspective or like a franchise owner.
Yeah.
Like that's. You know, Lamar Jackson, for instance. Lamar says, give me all the money, the guaranteed, and I'm going to play my heart out where if I break a leg, I break a leg.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
As he should.
And then you got somebody like Deshaun Watson who is like, fuck it, I'm already guaranteed. Like, I'm just going to walk off the field on a 4th down, you know, when the coach is yelling for the play. Like, that is, like, you've got the entire city on your back, bro. Like, you're a quarterback for the biggest high school team in that city. You know what I mean? Like that's like on a national scale, And to do something like that, like you're letting, like not only you're letting your teammates down, like your homies, you're like the people that you spend every single day with, but you're letting all the fans down, and you're going to catch all that smoke for 6 more days, you know, Monday through next Saturday until the next game pops up. And I get it. Frustration happens, and you know things aren't going your way, or you know maybe the play calling is going to somebody who like you consistently sees dropping the ball. You know what I mean? And you're like, bro, I don't want to go that route. You know, but that's how a quarterback plays. He can choose audibles. He can change plays. He can figure out other ways to get the ball down the field. But you know, to walk off the field, bro, is just like you're supposed to be the captain. You know what I mean? Like you are the one person on that field that is supposed to boost everybody up and put out that energy that, hey, we got this.
Yeah, and because you're that one guy that's supposed to give that energy, and when you not only walk off the field like that, you're sending a message to your teammates, you're sending a message to your coaches, and the fans who are also coming. So now the fans are going to probably turn their back even more than they probably already have, because Deshaun is already in the hottest of waters. I mean, he should, I've said it before, I don't believe he should be an NFL quarterback. I think there needs to be...
You think he was getting rub and tugs, he'd still be out in the field right now? He'd probably like...
I think if he didn't get all the lawsuits happening to him and all that stuff like that, he would be walking around like nothing even happened. And I think that's the bad part, is that he got caught and they called him out, and he's got another one popped up. There's another lawsuit happening. So he's not even out of any. He needs to focus his attention to the hole he created. Let the Browns continue. I mean, there are quarterbacks on the market that can play football. I mean, Deshaun isn't looking good. It's not like he's out there killing it.
Right.
So it's not like you're going to lose anything. Like, we got Joe Flacco for the Colts killing the game, and you know, and
how is Flacco? 42.
He's up. Yeah, he's in the 40s. Yeah. But he's being benched because the Colts want to put Anthony Richardson back in, which means Joe Flacco technically be available, but that's the thing. The Browns paid all the money to Deshaun Watson, so like, what are they gonna? There's just nothing they can do, and he's not playing good, and he's got bad rep, and they're not playing good. Their run game's not good. Nothing is good in Cleveland. Yeah. So I'd rather be the Bengals than the Browns. But.
Dude, I posted that we're so close to 5-0, and it's a slight joke, but to be honest with you, bro, like I've never seen a team this good with a 1-4 record like this.
Oh, we are the best 1-4 team I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean it's great.
We just put 38 points up after 33,
and that's the thing, man. It's like,
that's crazy.
Joe's out here doing what he needs to do 99% of the time. I don't know what happened in that last play where it was 3 runs. And then a 53-yard field goal is what we were attempting.
Yeah.
I understand that to an extent, because you got faith in McPherson, and he's flawless from this side of the field. There's a lot of benefits to it, but when you got Burrow playing like he is, and especially when defense is expecting you to run the ball up the middle for the next 2 or 3 plays just to try to get in field goal range. That's what happened at the end of the second quarter, bro. Like, they were expecting him to just bang out 3 yards, and then kick a field goal. So he drops back and throws a bomb to Jamar and goes 70 yards, and they weren't expecting that. And when you got Jamar running 21 miles an hour, bro, like,
crazy.
You talk about fast lane.
Jamar is such a game-changing playmaker that I'm pretty sure the defenses can't even truly double him.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like, you try to double him, you try to put double coverage on him, but really you have to sit back and see what cuts and what moves.
Where's he going to go?
Where's he going?
And when's he going to blast off?
Right. He goes from the outside, outside the numbers into a slot area, and then he's back out behind the numbers, and you're like, our guy that was doubling him is now having to cover this inside wide receiver with the slot, but he was supposed to be checking Jamar, but Jamar's this way now,
Yeah.
and now they open the fields in the middle, and all of a sudden, Burrow's hitting the tight end for 8 yards. He opens the field up so much, and then you got T. Higgins that can Moss anyone because of his size. So
he really is the Randy Moss of this generation, bro.
he is, yeah,
100%. I've never said that out loud, but obviously it was like every time you see him reach for that ball, like there's only one other person, Jerry Rice, but Jerry Rice didn't have the length and like, I mean, how tall?
Justin Jefferson. Jefferson is up there.
Yeah,
height.
yeah.
He's that guy's also a crazy play. He does the cuts and he's got the height. He's just the Vikings are undefeated, so he's obviously doing something right there.
For sure.
I mean, they're
Who's their quarterback?
Sam Darnold. He was a backup.
Never heard of him, bro. That's crazy.
He played in New York. He's played a few places, but he's now found his home in Minnesota, and he was a backup to McCarthy, the Michigan quarterback they just drafted, who got hurt in preseason. So they put Sam Darnold in at the helm, and now Sam Darnold's in the MVP conversation. So
is he running and throwing, or is it a running game for?
He is all throw mostly, and then the running game is Aaron Jones, who used to play for the Packers. So they've got a good running back, and he's all passing. Sam Darnold is not a running quarterback. I mean, he might be able to move a tiny bit to elude, but he's not running like Burrow. I mean,
Right.
Burrow's faster than him. And and Burrow's not even a running quarterback. But
Right. That's what I was just gonna say. You know what's crazy about Burrow is he doesn't scatter like most like Lamar Jackson. When Lamar's running like out of the pocket, he's got the ball in his hand and he's running, bro.
He's juking.
You know what? He's juking. And like when it comes to Burrow, like Burrow keeps the ball close to him. He's like cocked and loaded, and he's got his eyes down the field. Like he's not. You see Burrow scramble, but it's like it's literally like a video game. You know what I mean? Like when you're moving the character around, like Burrow's face is almost always downfield. Like when he's when you're moving him around, it's just like Tecmo Bowl, bro.
It really is, yeah.
Which it's impressive to see. Like obviously he's not the fastest to like leave the pocket, but he sacked one time last week and then 0 times the week before. That is such a different game than the year before.
The O-line's doing fine. It's our D that's just now collapsing on us.
Yeah.
But I saw this interview. I don't know if you saw it on your algorithm or whatever, because who knows what people
you know what?
about his sacks.
No.
About his take on sacks.
Mm-mm. I was just gonna say, like, I feel like I see everything that you do on Instagram, because even the random stuff like that pops in my feed, I'll see that you already liked it. So it's like, all right, I don't have to send it to him.
Oh yeah, I do this. I do the same thing. I'm like, he's already seen it. I only send stuff that you haven't liked. Like I'm like, he'll see this later. I'll send like 3 videos, whatever. But outside of our social media interaction, his take on sacks. This is really fascinating. This is worth listening to. He doesn't think they're a big deal at all. He literally was like, so I just watched it today. He's like, so, and he was on a podcast being totally serious. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't really. He's like, you were sacked 7 times in the playoffs, like prior. And he's like, yeah, but this is really not that big of a deal. They make it out to be a much bigger deal than it is. And I thought that he was just not trying to throw his O-line under the bus. But then he started like elaborating, and he was like, if I get sacked on third down, as long as I don't go out of field goal range, what's it even matter? We're going to get the points, or we're going to punt it away. If I go and I don't make the play, we're not going to make it. But the sack does, as long as it doesn't take us out of field goal range. He's like, as long as I don't get hurt, it really doesn't. It's really not the end of the world like everyone really thinks it is. And
smart player, bro. That's why
he just really worded it where it was like,
that makes sense.
It's not the end of the world. Like a first down sack's bad because obviously the team's coming out hard and the other 2 downs are going to be tough to get it back.
For sure.
But the 3rd down sack, he's right. Because you get 3 plays and then a punt on 4th. But like, as long as it doesn't take you out of the points range, it's not really the end of the world because we made it the whole deal.
Yeah.
Like when he got all those sacks, that was like the only thing we talked about. Burrow can't stand up.
Right.
Now he's hurt. Now this and that. We literally lived on the sacks for a whole year.
I think
So-
the reason why we live on the sacks though is because of making sure that our
Investment,
quarterback doesn't get hurt, right?
He's a
But at the same time, like that's some baller shit to not have sacks like change you mentally. You know what I mean? Because that's the crazy thing. Because that's like, being a quarterback and getting sacked is like
seems like the worst.
it seems like the worst.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's what I thought.
It seems like not necessarily like getting the ball at the last second of an NBA game and missing the shot, because that's something a totally different feel.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that is different.
not having like your mentality crack because of a sack, that could be huge when it comes to so many other quarterbacks. When they get sacked, they're like, fuck, now they're nervous, now they're scared, now that what are people thinking? But and you can see it in Burrow's like the way he plays too, bro. Like when he was trying to get Jamar to stop complaining with the ref, like he knew that he was going to get a 15-yard penalty to take him out of the fucking field goal range, and that's why he was so adamant about getting Jamar just to stop stop the just don't even feed into it. But seeing that, it's crazy, bro, because you don't know what these quarterbacks go through, like what their day-to-day is, like what they're thinking mentally, and how many times Burrow was sacked last year. Like, it worries all of us, but if it doesn't worry him, then why the fuck should it worry us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's literally my thought when he was talking about that, is that like he's not thinking like as a sack is like
like
it's like a game-changing play, I guess. With this, because when a lineman gets a sack, everyone's like,
oh yeah,
they're it's like they just change the entire trajectory of what just happened. When he's like, well, I really don't think a sack is that big of a deal. I'm trying to like kind of do my burn, like, I don't really think a sack's that big of a deal, because as long as it doesn't take me out of field goal range, what I'm getting the points. I'm getting the points that I may not be able to get on a play, and as long as I don't get hurt, or that, and if it happens on third down, that's not the end of the world. Yeah, the first down sack is a little rough because you have to build momentum back up from second and third down. But when he's not that worried about it, it made me feel confident in his words. So I think that was a really interesting interview that I saw today, and definitely noteworthy for this podcast. But at the same time, if our O-line is breaking down like that, it's hard to win a football game. So there's the other side of the coin. You can't win if you're going backwards. So, but yeah, this team now, though, the O-line isn't our Achilles heel. It is that the whole defense. We can't stop the running game. I mean, did you see how Lamar Jackson scored a touchdown when the ball hit the ground and he like literally did a stiff arm to the
yeah
I mean,
crazy.
That is video game.
Yeah,
that is like you're playing like back in the day when everyone was playing with Michael Vick. That's literally what it was.
I was gonna say
the early days.
Randall Cunningham, bro. That's who he reminded me of in that moment.
Yeah, but when everyone first got was Madden 2006, I think, when Vic was like at the top of the food chain, you just get Michael Vick and you could literally outrun every player, which is what Lamar's doing. He, as soon as he gets that ball and he gets into the secondary, the players are he's just zooming past them. They can't catch him. He's just faster than every player. Cornerbacks, linebackers, obviously linemen. He's faster than all of the defensive backs. And I just think that is he's definitely a cheat code, and there is a reason he got those MVPs. But he didn't play as good a quarterback as Burrow, which is even crazier, and got the win. Is that Jonah Hill?
How crazy is that, bro?
That is wild.
That was in 2018 too. I didn't like
Jonah Hill looking swole.
Crazy.
Whoa. About to get on the football field himself.
Man, are the Bengals having tryouts for the
It's
defense?
too late for
yet?
that.
Damn.
53-man rosters.
Yeah.
You get him on the practice roster, but you have to have the slot available. That's why Kareem Hunt was available for the Kansas City Chiefs, because Pacheco is on.
How do we get Mark Wahlberg to try out for the? You ever see that movie where he tried out for the Philadelphia Eagles? Made it. It was like a true story.
I don't know if he would be he would bring a lot of attention. He'd sell some jerseys,
Yeah.
which would pay Burrow.
Right. that's not a that Just bring Chad back, bro. Bring Chad back
Ocho.
as a kicker. You know what I mean? Bring him back as a kicker.
Ocho Cinco back to sell some jerseys.
Bro, sell. How many jerseys do you think Chad Johnson would sell? And would it still be Chad Ocho Cinco if he came back? Would it still be 85 as a kicker, or do you have to have a low number?
I don't think there's number restrictions anymore. I think they changed that dynamic, because they used to have it so you had to be only a certain line. But I think any player can have the wide, because like wide receivers used to be high numbers, but now they can be 8, 0, 1, 5,
Yeah.
right? So that's a newer thing.
All right, so maybe that's why, like, when I'm looking at Gesicki, is that his name? Gesicki, yeah. Like every time I see him on the field, like he reminds me of an old 1980s NFL player. And like I was telling Kalen, I'm like, I don't know if it's because he's like tall, or if it's the number 88, like Michael Irvin. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's the number, bro. I think it's the 88 on that jersey just has like some like old 1990s like representation to it.
Yeah, I can see that. He's good though.
He is good.
He's definitely an upgrade.
Where'd he come from?
He played for the Patriots.
White boys. We got a lot of white boys on the team, bro.
We do. We got some solid talent on the offensive end. It's that defensive end that's hurting us. And I will say, how are you feeling about our running game since we no longer have Joe Mixon? Now, Joe Mixon is injured in Houston right now, but when he is a pivotal part of Houston's offense is what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Which means we used him wrong, which is on coaching.
Yep. Totally agree.
It's on coaching. They wasted Joe Mixon. Like, he literally, like, could have been so much more valuable from what we used him, right? So, since we don't have any more, and Zach Moss and Chase Brown are both showing out and great runners, but Joe Mixon's still probably a better talent than both those guys. So, he may be a little older, he may be in the league longer, but he definitely showing out in Houston. He is injured, but that first week, Joe Mixon came out with the first week in Houston, came out and just, like, shocked the NFL. Like, you ain't washed up, bro. What were the Bengals thinking?
Right.
Is really what everyone was thinking. We were here like, happy for you, Joe. Like we wish you were here, but happy for you. But the rest of the league's like, the Bengals really let that guy go.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to.
Right.
They could have got him on like a cheap contract, but they said Zach Moss, better fit. Chase Brown's young. We're gonna bring this in. It's not. Chase Brown and Joe Mixon would have been just fine.
Yeah.
I like Zach Moss though. I like him, but it's not.
He got injured though, didn't he? Or no?
I don't know if he's. I'll have to check if he's considered out. But he did. He played pretty well in Indy, but Indy has Jonathan Taylor, so he didn't have a place there. So it's like there's so many good running backs, though. I will say.
I mean, and they're also giving the ball to Zach Moss a shitload of times. So obviously you're gonna produce some numbers. I think Chase Brown is a lot better of a choice. He kind of barrels through when Zach Moss tries to run around. I feel like
Zach Moss should be the barreling through though. Yeah. That's the thing is like he's running kind of silly too because he should be. He's a pretty decent sized guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's not necessarily like someone that is a Jerome Bettis type, but he's got some bulk to him.
Right.
And he's kind of trying to run around using like elusiveness, and that should have been Joe Mixon's play.
Right.
Like they're all doing stuff that they should not have been doing.
Yeah.
Which is on
the coaching.
Yep. So it's like, and don't get me wrong. I'm not here for anyone's job to be taken because a lot of people have already come out and said, like on the national, not just our local people, that the head of the snake is maybe Joe Burrow mixed with coaching, but Joe Burrow's not going anywhere. Zach Taylor's on the hot seat of some degree. I'm not here to take someone's job. and I'm never for that, because I really think power to the coaches. Coaches do have a point and have it, but their point is to call the correct plays. If the offensive coordinator, maybe the play calling needs to come from somebody else. You know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't need to be someone being given the boot, because the Jets just fired their head coach today.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were 2-3.
Yeah, they're 2-3. They're literally, if they win against the Bills coming up,
They're 50-50.
they're ahead of the division.
Right.
And they just fired him.
Yeah.
Because something has to happen in New York. They should have gotten rid of the offensive coordinator, but Aaron Rodgers wants Nathaniel Hackett in his corner, so they're not getting rid of him, because Aaron Rodgers is
franchise boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got to cut somebody, and the head coach is the guy. Who knows who they're bringing in? Bill Belichick, maybe Mike Vrabel, who coached with Tennessee. They're going to bring somebody in. But we're in a situation where if the coaching doesn't show some improvement, we are not one to get rid of coaches.
Never.
No.
I mean, how long do we hang on to Marvin for?
Right. We did. But think about this. If you're the Bengals and you just watched the Jets get rid of their coach, the thoughts might come through like, hey, maybe we should go for his coach, or maybe we should go for somebody else, because the dominoes kind of fall. But no, they never got rid of Marvin Lewis because of that era. But that wasn't the Burrow time. He's literally putting up the best numbers in the NFL.
Right.
And their team is 1-4 because of some really questionable calls.
And for sure. And I want to know what Carson Palmer's thinking right now, because Carson Palmer's over here, like, he was begging Joe not to go to the Bengals because of their organization and the shit they pull, like we already know that they're not going to get rid of Zach Taylor. If you didn't get rid of Marvin Lewis, after fucking a decade of losing, you're not going to get rid of Zach Taylor, who's tied into the Brown family.
Yeah, you're right. You're more likely to get rid of defensive coordinator at this point,
right?
Just because the defense is the weak link. But outside of the defense's play calling, who's making the play? Who's deciding on the play call?
Bro, I'm like,
I'm runs at the end of that game. That's soft. That is scared. Scared money don't make money.
Tail between the legs, bro.
Scared money don't make money, bro. That's just not the. This is the NFL, and you get 4 plays, and the fourth is for punting in most cases. You get 3 solid plays to get into field goal range. You need like 12 yards.
Yeah.
And your wide receivers are making the cornerbacks of the Ravens look silly.
Yeah.
All game. So
all game and right before halftime. Like that's what kills me. Like this was the same position, same plays as halftime, and you come out and it's a 70-yard fucking touchdown to Jamar, bro. Like, I get it. I understand that, that there's like give and take, and there's you want to listen to your coach and you want to make sure that the plays are going well. But, like, to be honest with you, bro, like, when the Bengals play the best is when they're in that rush offense, 2 minutes left of the game, no huddles. They're just running back to the line and they're just free flowing the next fucking 2 minutes. And you see us pull out 70 yards in a minute and a half, just
they thrive in chaos.
They thrive in chaos, bro. It's like, we don't, like, our team, our offense is so good, and Jamar and T are so good at making that distance in between their defenders that that like Joe said last year, bro. I can throw it up and I know that Jamar's going to be there somewhere. You know what I mean? Like they thrive in that chaos, bro. It's like when you leave it in Joe's hands, he makes plays happen. And like we should really just. I mean, fuck, we're losing anyways, dude.
What's it matter?
Like, we're losing anyways. Like just let him just run the game for one day. Let's have a backyard football game where Joe's calling the plays and it's just trick football, bro.
You're throwing it 55 times, 60 times.
Fucking dude, what's that? Fucking not a ladder, but like where you the quarterback tosses it to Zach Moss, then Zach Moss tosses it to Chase Brown, and Chase Brown fucking drops one down the field to Joe Burrow. I mean, obviously we wouldn't put Joe Burrow in that situation, but
you want Jamar Chase to throw that ball.
Yeah,
Have you
100%,
seen
bro.
how he can throw?
Yeah.
He can throw Jamar Chase can throw a football. And if you were to get that out there, really what you want to do is you want to get T. Higgins and the tight ends, and they all think Jamar Chase, and they're pulling everyone there, and then have Jamar Chase maybe throw maybe the direction this way, right to a tight end, and he's going to be open because everything's shifted.
Yep, everyone's coming for Jamar.
And just run as corner to the opposite way as you can, and you're going to get 20 yards. I mean, just by the time they catch up to you, you're at 20 yards.
Flea flicker. That's what I was trying to
A flea
think.
flicker, yeah. To have Jamar throw that, and you only have the running backs put some blocking in front of him. It's going to work because the fear of these wide receivers. Our offense is so potent, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start playing scared, and like you said, doing that 2-minute offense where everything is fast paced, you know what you don't do in that time?
Think.
No.
Panic.
No. No, what you don't call? Running plays.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't call running plays in a chaotic offense, because you know what happens on a running play? It slows everything down.
Yeah.
Because you know what has to happen? You know what has to happen on a running play? The running back has to get taken down. Everyone has to get up and has to get
Ball
off the
doesn't-
ground.
Time doesn't stop.
Yeah, exactly. Where a pass to catch situation is pass, catch, drop, up, hand to the wide receiver or to the umpire, the ref, run back to your spot, paw, catch, down, and it's repeat. Where there's no bunch of O-line, D-line on top of each other to slow your momentum. It's
Right.
part of the whole system, like you're explaining, and under that chaos moment. And we do thrive in that. But you know what they're doing? They're playing scared. And they're playing scared because, like you said, what do we have to lose? We're still 1-4 if you throw the ball and
I mean, you know,
if he gets 2 interceptions, we're still 1-4.
I mean, obviously they
know?
they were thinking, McPherson's money at 50 yards.
But they had some issues with wind.
Oh, dude, it was
Okay, yeah, there
and
was some issues with wind.
Every time that ball went up for a field goal, you saw that thing shift 2 feet in the air and then settle in. It was like, that wind was definitely a factor, bro. Definitely a factor, especially trying to kick it 53 yards.
Yeah, and I hate leaving it into the kicker's hands, unless it's a dire situation where the clock is going to end and that's the end of it all. And you have to kick it. I would rather the kicker get a chance for a chip shot or some kind of.
I mean, bro, we can still get a
stress-
first down.
Still get a first down, but I hate putting it into the kicker that you're counting on this Justin Tucker's quality. I love Evan McPherson, but on the other side, the kicker is the best kicker we've ever seen.
Right.
Literally on the other sidelines.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's not having the same year as he once has. He's getting older. That's part of Father Time is undefeated, right? But you're in a windy situation. You don't uncertainty, but you know what you're certain of? Your wide receivers aren't being stopped.
Yeah.
Your wide receivers haven't been stopped all game. Not even at all.
Right.
And there wasn't even a hint that the wide receivers were confident enough to stop you. So because of that, you put it in your kicker's hands, which the wind is still unpredictable. Like you said, it's going to move. The goalpost is moving, quite literally,
Mm-hmm.
So back on to coaching, regardless if the guy drops the botched snap or not, this is a coaching loss.
Yeah.
And an accountability at some point has to be taken. Because, you are a season ticket holder, right? You pay the money. We talked about it, the money you have to have, all these different dynamics. They're giving a sticker out, and all these different things that the Bengals are doing internally are showing that, yeah, they have to invest their money into Burrow,
Mm-hmm.
which they have. So you're investing all this money into Burrow that you're kind of lowering what you're giving to your fans, and they're all investing money, and everyone is Burrow merch and Burrow this, Burrow that. Every jersey I see is 9. And you took it out of his hands.
Yeah.
And you took it out of his hands to win the football game. Literally, you handed the ball off and gave it to somebody else when the O-line can just bottle him up. Running backs can't go that far.
Right.
A pass can go 20 yards in 6 seconds.
Less than that, yeah.
Less than that. Give him 2 seconds, 3 seconds to hold it, and then 3 seconds, and before you know it, you're halfway down the field. A running back, in 6 seconds, he's only 10 yards out.
Right.
That's all he's got. So you're taking it out of the guy that you're literally investing your whole city in that'll probably end up having his own street named after him after it's all said and done.
I think that I am Maximus right there is the guy that got his nipple pierced with the or nipple tattoo with the ice cream eyeball.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I recognize his name. Yeah.
Shout out, bro.
Shout out, bro.
Appreciate you. Yeah, man.
It's just that.
It's aggravating because we look so good, but we can't give up that many points. At the end of the day, it's.
Well, we just gave up a lot of points to Washington.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. It was, Jaden Daniels is playing like a potential MVP as a rookie. Can you imagine getting Rookie of the Year and MVP? That's
pretty insane.
That's insane, and he's like front runner.
Yeah. All right.
That's wild. So, but okay, based on that, but you gave up 38 points and then 41 points, and you scored 38 points. So your offense did enough to beat every team in the whole league this week, outside of the Ravens.
Yeah.
It's like when you're playing fantasy football and you have like the best week of your year, but the person you play just happened to have a little bit better week. So you're like, oh, how did that happen? But that's literally what we just saw on Sunday. And the worst part about it was this wasn't even a primetime game. This was a 1 o'clock game. This was the one we needed to win. Because primetime Lamar Jackson is hard beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's be real. Let's think about how the NFL runs. Now, I'm not talking about scripts and stuff, but yeah, you could take it. But like NFL loves Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, I think Lamar loves the Monday Night Lights. You know what I mean? Like there's something about those night games and those main games that just kind of put it out there. But I don't know, man. It's tough, bro, because it's like you want. Everybody wants the Bengals to win, like at least all the Bengals fans, and it's like you want Joe to win, and it's disheartening when Joe has a record-breaking game and we still lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's number 2 in the league, and number 1 in the league in some of his stats.
If you take week 1 out of it, he is.
Yeah.
If you take a game out of it and you literally just do the 4-game sample size and anyone else's 4-game sample size, Mr. Burrow is like number 1.
Yeah.
And that's like real. And yet he's 1-4. That is so I think that is like that's what I think is the hardest part about it. Like, it's a hard win to swallow. My friend was like, a buddy of mine was like, yeah, man, that's an easy win to swallow because we lost to Lamar Jackson and it was a shootout and it was the best game of the year. But then I was like, you know what? It's not an easy game to swallow because it was a game we had in our grasp.
Oh, it was.
And like, yeah, Lamar Jackson's great and we understand he's great and he's got an MVP and they have Derrick Henry, which is another cheat code, have that kind of running back there.
I was so mad when we didn't pick him up and just let the Ravens take him. I mean, obviously, it would have been a tough feat to get him, but like, don't let the Ravens get him, bro.
Don't let the Ravens.
Don't let the Ravens or the Steelers get Derrick Henry. That's all.
Yeah,
or the Chiefs.
I was gonna say I'd rather the Chiefs or the Ravens, both. It's bad news.
Yeah.
But I mean, last night the Chiefs played. They beat the Saints, and they're also 5-0. They're undefeated along with the Vikings. But they picked up Kareem Hunt off the beach, off his couch.
That's tight.
Off his going out on the bars, whatever. And now he's literally he scored a touchdown. I picked him up in fantasy. He scored like 18 points. He literally was one of the best scorers of the week. And they just insert him in the Kansas City's backfield, and all of a sudden he's a stud. Yeah, he was one of the best running backs back in the day, but he's not on the team for a reason.
Right. Yeah,
and they put him in the back of the Kansas City backfield. And he's like, oh, guess what? I'm in the running for now. I'm running for running back of the year type of number, like right off gate. 2 games.
That's
2
crazy.
games he's there. But that tells you how good the Chiefs run things.
Right.
And that's how we're not running things.
The Chiefs also get every fucking play in their favor.
They do. The Chiefs do get a benefit there, but
which is crazy, bro.
But the Chiefs could be like 2-3 right now. They could have lost to the Ravens. They could have lost to the Bengals. You know what I mean? That's 2 losses off it, and maybe another loss. And we could be 5-0. We could be 4-1. We could be 3-2, easy. 2-3, definitely. But the 1-4, or the opposite end of the Chiefs, looking on the outside, looking in. But luckily, our division is kind of weak outside of the Ravens, and the Ravens aren't that much ahead of us. So like, there is a chance for us to catch up. It's that It's that wild card spot.
Right.
So we just need the rest of the league to just start losing some games. That wild card spot is our only chance. Which I've heard a lot of people in the industry watch us play Sunday and say that the Bengals are probably going to still get a wild card spot, which would be great to even because the schedule does favor us. We're playing the Giants next, so that has hopefully not going to predict anything, but that's a favorable matchup for us. So build a little momentum, be 2-4, win another one that's 3-4, and then you're in the mix. But we should have definitely. Some calls with the Chiefs and the Ravens, we should have those two games. And those two games would have the biggest contenders. Yeah, the Patriots game, okay, we lost one. But
but we beat the Chiefs and the Ravens.
Yes, which would have made the playoffs, the anticipation of the playoffs would have totally changed. But since we lost, the anticipation changes.
Right.
On their end.
Yeah.
Straight up. The Chiefs worried about us now? Maybe. Well, maybe not. They seem to win everything. They literally, Patrick Mahomes, did you see him juke? Did you watch any of the game at all?
Mm-mm.
Bro, dude can just move it's like butter. He literally goes they were he ran in and there was two linemen about here and he was he just stepped back really quick and they couldn't get him and he just went around and tossed it right into the guy's hands and 12-yard play and he just juked him really. He's just so he manipulated the whole little situation.
You know what, bro?
Good, man.
I've got a theory on the Baltimore Ravens, and
Okay.
I saw Sam Hubbard pull he had his helmet off and he ran over to the ref when he went to try to tackle Lamar and couldn't grab a hold of him. It really looks like these jerseys have they're being washed and dried with 100 dryer sheets. Have you ever used a momentous amount of dryer sheets in your clothes in the dryer, and then all of a sudden they feel lotiony, where they just slip? I was just thinking what if they're doing something in where they're washing this with Downy fabric softener times 10. You know what I mean? Something that makes these jerseys so slick that it's hard to even get a hold of somebody. Because once I saw that, I was like, bro, they're I was like, Kalen, look at this. They're no one can get a hold of him. What are they doing? Are they washing his jersey with lotion and then drying it with dryer sheets? And I started paying attention to the game, and I'm like, bro, I wouldn't doubt for one instant that, because you're always trying to gain one up on something, right? Whether it's and do it legally without doing it illegally. And what's wrong with using extra dryer sheets when you're washing these clothes for these players?
That's
a conspiracy theory. That's going down my own personal rabbit hole that I didn't see anywhere other than my own personal take on why can't they catch him, bro? Why can't they get a hold of him? What is going on? Every time they try to grab Lamar, it's he just slips through. It's
he does slip.
It's there's got to be something.
He's slippery. That's an interesting take, because I can see how teams would try to get an upper advantage on how because these jerseys, they have to wrap up when they tackle. They can't just assume they're going to get them with their fingertips. You gotta wrap up when you're tackling. You can't.
Oh yeah.
But I also think with that same mentality, I think Lamar Jackson, and because you don't need that for Derrick Henry. I mean, you're going to do it for all the jerseys, but Derrick Henry specifically is going to barrel. Lamar Jackson is that elusive guy. But I think Lamar Jackson's thing with why he's able to slip so many tackles,
little spin moves.
But he also has one of the fastest first steps I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. His first agility. The first thing. So every time he feels any kind of pressure, he pushes off with such force. It's you get him, but you don't get him. Mm-hmm. And he's doing that so frequently, it makes him look like he's slippery. But to think that they are potentially using Downy fabric softener to create a little bit of less, friction within that, maybe Jersey Gate.
Jersey Gate.
Jersey Gate.
You heard it here first. Jersey Gate. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are officially cheating. Just kidding.
Jersey
Or
Gate.
am I?
I mean, the Patriots got creative with the footballs.
That's the thing, bro. It's like it only takes a little tweaking here and there, just to offset the game.
Yeah.
A little fabric Downy softener in your.
Did you notice that the
your
players? Yeah. Did you little fabric softener goes a long way, but did you see that the players kept slipping on the field?
I didn't notice that.
You didn't? That happened quite. The announcers mentioned it like 3 or 4 times too. So like Lamar Jackson fell with the snap at the one play that he stiff armed.
Yeah,
He
okay.
fell earlier, and then earlier in the game, a few different guys fell and slipped when running. Even Derrick Henry fell, slipped once. So like the field, something about Cincinnati's field was obviously causing some issues on both sides of the ball. So that's also going to cause some issues, some tackling.
They've mentioned that before with the amount of injuries that have happened in Paul Brown Stadium last year, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they were talking about we need to change our grass, our turf. They need to change it to.
Is it real or fake?
Fake?
Okay, that shit sucks, bro. Like AstroTurf. Like,
Yeah.
I was out in the Florida Marlins. I was at their stadium and I got to hang out on the field. It was like it wasn't during a baseball game. It was one of those. Like Duke Energy Convention Center things. I was selling gutter shutter out there, bro. Gutter shutter.
Interesting,
And
okay.
yeah, so we got to be out there on that like grass turf, and it was like I would hate to be tackled on this. You know what I mean? Like it does not.
It's not soft.
Or
is it soft and just?
It's soft, but it's not soft like dirt, bro. It's not like there's something underneath the grass that slides with you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it felt like if you got tackled, it would have been getting tackled in like rubber. You know what I mean? Where it's like you don't slide, it grabs you.
Yeah.
But then again, that was 12 years ago, so I'm sure like turf has gotten better since then. You know what? I saw a stadium the other day, bro, that I think it was a soccer field. Did you like it when they're not playing, the field drops down underground and goes into 7 different layers. So the grass for the field breaks apart and then drops down in a section, and then another piece comes over and then drops down in a section. Another piece comes over, drops down in a section. 7 layers deep. And when it goes underground, it's got all like grow lights and everything to keep the grass growing underground, where they can use the stadium for motocross or other things, like without ruining any of that grass.
Yeah.
But then think about it. Now you've got 7 layers underground where you've got 7 practice fields. Like it was crazy, bro. Like seeing this thing work, and it was like there's no way. It was like the grass just opened up, and then one piece just went in, and then another piece went over top, and then went in, and then another piece went on top, and then went in. Closes all up, and then you've got
a new platform.
A new convention center with no grass. All the grass is just underground now. It's impressive, bro. I mean, you saw how the Vegas Raiders field is, right? That's wild, bro. The whole thing just slides out.
Do you remember the days of when they had like the Oakland A's and they had the football field on the baseball?
Oh, bro, that shit was fucking so crazy.
Crazy. That's
so crazy.
That's just that needs to not happen. Like,
man.
Yeah.
Like, think about being a player back then, and knowing that you've got a route dead center that and it's right there where the diamond is, where you're gonna get fucking smashed right onto that, like, because that dirt is like, it's like crushed shells. You know what I mean? It's like fine-tuned shells. It's not like soft fucking beach sand.
It's not like exactly. It's not exactly not that, and I think the field the field is it is an advantage for you if you have a good field and you play on it half of the games of the year. Your field can be your advantage because the players that are coming in are not. They have a little of time to prepare for your field, so you have to use it for your advantage. And our turf is obviously hurting us both.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's not an advantage for a home team when it's hurting both of us. It needs to be definitely something we can thrive in, and then they have to adjust and get used to, because every stadium is different, which I don't really understand. I feel like the NFL should have every stadium have the same exact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
I feel like they
sure.
have enough money to do that for everyone. Every stadium is the perfect blend of whatever needs to be done, whether it's
I mean, dude,
real
you're 100% right on that. That's something that should be a standard. Like, they should figure out what turf is least damaging to the players, and they should implement that. Like, the NFL should be paying for that. You know what I mean? It shouldn't fall back on Paul Brown Stadium or Paycor, and it shouldn't fall back on each individual stadium, because, you know, changing out that grass isn't cheap, for one. But if you guys really do care about your players and the franchisees that are paying you guys fucking billions of dollars to make this NFL thing fucking thrive, like, you guys should make sure that the players that are playing have the best equipment and best opportunity to take advantage without getting hurt, for sure.
Exactly. You should make it so that not only are the players not getting hurt, but the games are consistently same across the board. The only thing that should really change is whether you've got, it's infield,
A dome or
not. You know what I mean? And then that should be the redeeming factor, not, oh, I know they got a dome, but, bro, their grass is terrible. Their turf is awful. I get turf toe every time I play there.
Mm-hmm.
I hate going to Dallas, or I hate going to here because that happens. It's the worst. And then they go to this player like, oh, I love that. The field over in Detroit, the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't have those opinions. They should be worried about the wind if it's open, and if it's closed, your kickers thrive.
Right.
That's really what there's so many factors that aren't consistent. And I've mentioned before, I don't know when or where, but in baseball, I think I was with my dad and Charlie at a Reds game, and we were talking about the different lengths, how far out a home run is for a baseball game.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like, they're all different.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what constitutes a home run in one field is 20 yards short or more of another field.
Right.
And then you got, the gigantic wall.
The big green wall.
Exactly. And then, like, you have these other aspects that change baseball where it's not consistent. Yeah, you gotta not sure what's gonna happen vibe, but, like, all the fields aren't created equal.
That's crazy to think that way, yeah. Somebody that's banging out home runs because his home field is 30, 20 yards shorter than every other field.
And he's always hitting it to the left side, so he's always getting it.
Right.
Or right side or whatever. And he's always getting it. So, and then before you know it, he's in the home run leader, and then someone else plays for a much larger park, and they both have the same amount of home runs. Who's the better home run hitter?
Right.
The guy playing with the bigger park, but he may not win because he's not playing the home games as much at that stadium, because he's in his stadium. He has to deal with the big
Right.
wall, where the other guy is like, I only have to 20 yards more, and luckily I'm always hitting to the right,
Yeah.
so I'm always getting it. You know what I mean? So, like, it's who is the real home run king that year?
Right.
But the numbers say so. Like, I thought that was kind of interesting dynamic when we were talking about it, because I thought about it, and I mentioned it to my dad, and he's like, you know what, that is true. And then, but it counts with football too, because the stadiums are outside indoor.
Mhm.
Baseball's never outside. It's mostly all outside.
Except
But-
for Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but that's
Houston.
The thing. Yeah, but that's the thing. But football not only has that, but then what turf are you playing?
Right.
What grass are you on this week? You
Have
know what I
you-
mean? Like,
have
what
you s-
cleats do you have to take?
Have you seen
Like,
what the damn, bro, the Miami Dolphins did with their field when they built it? This is fucking insane, bro.
No,
So you want to talk about some like fucking over the opponents? So the way they built the stadium, they built it in a certain angle where the top of the dome of their stadium covers the Dolphins sideline. So the Dolphins sideline is always in the shade, and their opponents are always in the sunlight, always. And the Dolphins have the choice if they want to bring out fans, then everybody gets them. If the Dolphins don't want to bring out fans, like fans on the side, then nobody gets them. So, and there's a 30-degree difference between their sideline and their opposing team's sideline. So if it's 80 degrees on the Dolphins sideline, it's 110 degrees on the other sideline. And so they can opt out. So if before the game, if the Dolphins say we don't need fans, then the other side of the opposing team doesn't get fans. They're just standing there in the fucking sunlight in Florida,
which is a home field advantage.
Dude,
right?
Smart as can be, because he, when they built the stadium, they're looking at everything. How do we capitalize legally without breaking any rules?
Yeah, how do we take advantage of something?
We take the stadium, we turn it this way because this is where the sun's at. We need to make sure that the dome is in a certain angle where when the sun is shining, it's gonna cut off right there on the sideline where the sideline's in the shade. Like they put a lot of thought into it, bro, and it's impressive. It's aggravating because I'm not a Dolphins fan, but
you're probably glad to not be. We are 1-4, but if you've seen the Dolphins' offense, it's
bro,
they don't have an offense.
I would hate to have a team that's got 15 owners.
Like the Green Bay Packers have. Everyone's an owner.
Yeah, that's like. You
just get a cut of. You just pay and you get something for being an owner, and you're one of the owners. You don't get to say anything. They have a committee, like a count, like a.
Just give us your money and don't tell us. Don't say anything else.
I guess that's just how it works.
I think so.
But the Dolphins themselves, bro, there's no offense. Tua went down. They owe Tua all the money.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill on fantasy football is pointless. Anyone who has Tyreek Hill can attest to this. If you got him in fantasy football, tell me he's worth picking up in the first round. Literally, with no Tua, he's like 8 points a game.
That's crazy.
Usually he'd get like 20, 25. Like Justin Jefferson's out there getting 20 points with Sam Darnold. And Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they can't even break 10. It's pretty bad. Dolphins fans, feeling for you right now. Where Burrow just put up 5 touchdowns. I don't even know how many touchdowns Dolphins players even have gotten this year. I don't even know if they're at the 5 or 10 point yet because they're not putting up offense. They could barely beat the Patriots. And that was all field goals. It's just like, man. And that's the thing is like that's what's crazy about having a quarterback. Like the quarterback is such an important thing. Like you can't waste on a quarterback. That's like the most important position in all sports.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a boost morale. You got to make sure that you're amping up the team. And these are things that actually I heard that like Joe doesn't do before the games. Like he's not really like
he's not a vocal leader.
Vocal leader, yeah.
Yeah, but he is the leader.
Oh, definitely.
And they do respect Joe.
They respect the shit out of him.
Yeah, so he but like if you hear his press conferences and stuff he's talking, dude just knows what to say.
Yeah.
He knows he is not taking this lightly.
Right.
He is not. Dude threw 5 touchdowns and felt like the world like it's just.
Yeah, we're not a championship team.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson had a few more overall yards with the 400, but Lamar did not beat you in that game.
Right.
Lamar was not the better quarterback. He might have been.
Lamar had more yards. I thought Burrow had more yards.
Over total overall yards. Burrow didn't have over 400 total yards. Lamar Jackson ran and passed for over 400 yards.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
So passing yards, Burrow had like 353, I think, to 300, something like that.
It was up there. It was just under Lamar's total yards, but Lamar overall, like his running is just as big of a weapon as his arm.
Yeah.
When as soon as he doesn't even waste a second. As soon as he's going to run the ball, he gets the ball and he starts running, and the whole O line just shifts. And once he gets out in the flat, and once he gets out like outside the numbers, you're lucky to catch him. You gotta angle him off in order to get him out of bounds. He doesn't want to get hit hard, so he's going to go out of bounds. But he is just a playmaker built in to one player, whether it's throwing or running or play action. He can hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, or really they can have anyone in the backfield because you have the fear of Lamar. It opens up all the running.
Yeah, bro. So off subject here.
Yeah.
We got those hypercolor shirts coming in, so that's going to be great, dude. So hypercolor was popular in like the early '90s. It was color changing clothes, and I just sent some out to Retro Rick. So I don't know if any of our fans here are fans of Retro Rick, but the dude's, it's so entertaining, bro. He's got a YouTube channel where like. It was just Retro Rick at one point where he was just like going around the flea markets and trying to buy like vintage video games, vintage like anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or anything from like the early '90s, and started to get popular to the point where he was able to purchase the game store in his own town. So the game store, it was called the Game Point. And it was just getting a little, not run down, but the owners just got to a point where they felt like they were just getting stagnant, and so he went in and bought the entire place, but he bought it like fully stocked, so everything that was in there he kept.
Okay, all the stock, yeah.
So he just changed it to Retro Rick's Game Point and started a YouTube channel with it, and the dude's crushing it, bro. So they've gotten to the point where this weekend they're doing Retro Rick's Retro Fest out there in Arkansas. So you can get a booth, it's like a 10 by 15 booth or something, and you can sell clothes, video games, retro stuff, anything from the 90s. And it looks like it's going to be a great time, bro. I wish I could like actually spend some time to go down there, but instead we shipped them out some hypercolor shirts to rock for Retro Fest, just to get the word out there. Yeah, that's going to be dope, bro. Hypercolor is something that was super popular in like 1992. It completely disappeared in 1994, and it never came back until 2012 when old Daddy Fat Sacks here got the trademark and started producing hypercolor shirts. So we've found about 300 of them in our storage unit. We're going to be selling them down here at the levee for Blink. So if you guys don't know what Blink is, it's the 17th to the 20th?
Yes.
They're gonna
7 to 11 p.m.
They're going to be doing silent disco down here at the levee every day, which is
so
dope.
Excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be cool as shit, man. Yeah. That's all going to be outside as well. That'd be funny if it was in here, just a bunch of little like NPCs just walking around with little headphones on, like non-playable characters.
Dude, I would like them to do the whole levee, activate the whole levee with that. Because, like, can you imagine just walking around everywhere, just headphones on and, just getting the whole experience? But I want to say real quick, like, I'm excited for Blink just because it happens every other year. But there's something about that event that takes the city to another level. Something about that event, whether it's how they go about like the presentation, how everybody anticipates it, everyone is out there traveling, walking, enjoying the sights. It brings community together, and it gives someone to talk about for the next 6 months of content. Everyone's posting all the photos. I think there's something about Blink that just carries the full 2 years of its length, because we talk about it for the full 2 years. I mean, can you imagine if Blink happened every year? It would be as big as the fireworks.
Right. Yeah.
If not bigger, because it spread out further than the fireworks, because everyone doesn't want to get congested because streets get shut down.
4-day event.
4-day event. Streets don't have to get shut down. Everyone can experience it. All the local businesses thrive for multiple days. and even during the daytime too, because people want to be out before. They want to be already out and enjoy it as it starts, rather than show up with their car right as things are going and then have to find their people, because traffic's crazy. There's parking limited, so you spend so much time looking for parking and all that to even get to the event, where it's just a really high quality event, and I'm very happy our city has continued to do it, even though it's changed since the beginning. Blink has definitely changed since it first started. I know that internally on the creative side they changed things, but I'm really excited for it though. I'm excited for Deuces to perform. He's performing at Blink, and then we'll have him the following the week at on Beyond the Stage on October 24th. So right after Blink, the following Thursday we'll have Beyond the Stage, which is gonna be a great time with Deuces. Just super stoked for him to be able to get the opportunity to play Blink, and he's gonna make the most of the opportunity. I'm sure of it. And then we get to talk about it at Madison Live on October 24th. So get tickets online at madisontheater.com and join us for the show. But
where's he performing at Blink?
I do not know the location. I have to get that from him. I'm waiting on I got some questions I asked him for some promo purposes, so I'll try to get that info from him too. But I feel like
that's gonna be some incredible footage, bro.
Oh, I know. I mean, even if it's on Fountain Square, I don't know where it's going to be. I mean, Fountain Square is a perfect location because it's literally in the middle of everything, you know? And if they did like a really cool Fountain Square display, which I'm sure they will, that's the thing about Blink. You could literally like put a thing on, like, you could make like this statue on the Fountain Square, like, fountain
come to life
and make it like its eyes move around, and like it doesn't have to be that complicated. Just maybe its face, everywhere you look it's just eyes watching you, you know what I mean? Put sound effects, boost some sounds, you know what I mean? Toss your coins in, make a wish, make
the color of the water change colors.
Yeah, make a wish or whatever. Blink, and the possibilities are endless. Like last time they had like the gigantic like yarn thing where like the yarn was all over you and like climb through it.
Yeah.
Like that's an interactive display. Like that's super cool. Like that's next level cool, and it's here, you know? So
yeah, and I like that they do it every other year. It's like you don't get fatigue. It's like you're like, oh shit, I can't wait for the next one.
I can't miss this.
Yeah.
I can't miss this one. I can't miss it. Like it'll almost be like if you missed it the previous time, you're like, it doubled down that you got to be there. You're taking off work. You know what I mean? And you know what they could do? Like they could do like a Blink, the big version of Blink, and then the following year do like a mini version of its on some small capacity, and then do the big one the following year if they wanted to somehow, not give that level of exhaustion or.
Yeah, but then you're doing 1 year that's weak, 1 year that's big,
strong.
1 year that's weak.
But if you made it so it was like just a Washington Park only, that would be terrible. Because Washington Park is really like where a lot of things go down,
Right.
And that is something where everyone in the city kind of collides. But it's spread out because now it's on the levee too. So we're Levee, Covington, Cincinnati. We're spread. Mm-hmm. They're spreading it nicely, which I think is genius. Yeah, I think it's so smart of them to understand, to read the room, to read the city's environment, like to not take Newport for granted,
Right, for sure.
I think that's very smart of them. And obviously we're going to have a great time with it. We're going to have hypercolor available. You're going to be able to have a shirt that changes colors while the walls are changing colors. That's sick.
Yeah.
I'll be real with that.
There's only one place on the entire planet that you can buy those. There's only one place on the planet, bro. You can't buy hypercolor tees in California. You can't buy them on Rodeo Drive. You can't buy them in Italy. You can't buy them in Paris. You can't buy them. The only place you can buy hypercolor is Newport, Kentucky.
Wild.
Crazy.
Wild.
Absolutely crazy. That's fire, right?
That is not only fire, that is
braggadocious, dude. That's crazy.
Braggadocious, game-changing, and literally a shift to what we're doing here. And obviously it's been available for such a long time, but we can definitely tell a difference pre-pandemic to now.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell how people are interacting differently. You can tell how promotion is different. You can tell that I can tell in the concert music industry that people just don't go out to shows until it's like a week notice. Unless it's a festival they're preparing all year. If you have a show, people are like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything on a Friday night. And then the week of, all of a sudden, tickets are flying. They're not buying them 2 weeks out, you know? So because the landscape has changed, we've seen a change. So Hypercolor coming out in a new, fresh, a new way of where, I mean, it's the same clothing, just a different era, you know? And I think that is going to go a long way. Once people get hip to what's going on, it's over. It's over because people are gonna have that FOMO. Like, I can't miss this drop. I can't miss this drop because this is the only place I can get them. The internet's gonna speak loud. It's once these shirts are out.
This is something that,
and we're coming close. We're like 2 weeks out from the shirts, right?
Yeah, and this is something maybe closer than that, but this is something where you know. I'm 43 now, bro. Like my sister had those T-shirts when I was a kid, so I wanted one as a kid, but she got it. You know what I mean? And it was like, it's one of those things where this has been missing for 30 years, and it's like now there's a chance that you can buy a dead stock Hypercolor shirt, never worn. You know, this isn't coming from Goodwill. This is a dead stock Hypercolor color changing shirt that you can buy for somebody for Christmas. Like somebody that's been wanting this for 30 years, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, it does, like, the shirt doesn't even need to be perfect. If you open this up and it's like, holy shit, this is a Hypercolor shirt from the 90s, like, people are gonna lose their shit for Christmas time.
They are. We're gonna have it's gonna be quite a Christmas this year, just on the basis that we see where the economy's at. We see where, you know, things are happening in our you know, government. You know, everything. The landscape is going to be changing very, very shortly. So people are wanting to they want to make the most of these moments in life now, because like I think more than ever people are appreciating what they've got. They're scared of what they could lose, so they're appreciating what they've got, based on the conversations I've been having with people. And when you have the opportunity to relive like such a high moment in like
memory,
apparel history, like I didn't have Hypercolor shirt. I had a color changing shirt with a wolf on it, like that was howling at the moon, like, and it was I didn't know anything about Hypercolor at that time. I just know I got a shirt from Gatlinburg and it changed colors and it was cool, like that's that. But it was a little before my time of the era of the Hypercolor name, but I had the technology in my bedroom. You know what I mean? And I think that nostalgia on my level too. Like, I don't have to even be a fan of Hypercolor to see the coolness of what a Hypercolor t-shirt provides. Like, every party, every opportunity, every show that I'm at, anything I do socially, and I'm wearing that Hypercolor shirt, I'm going to be like, yo, check this out. That's a conversation starter. Before you know it, I've got 3 new friends in that moment that are either coming to the store to buy one themselves, or, yo, dude's got the coolest shirt. Let me show somebody. Let me take a video of you blowing hot air on your sleeve. Like, you know, it sounds silly, but it is real. Like, it is a conversation starter, and that is priceless. That conversation starter could lead someone to their next marriage. You know what I mean? Like, you're at a bar and everything, and you see someone across the room, and you go to talk to them, and you're having a conversation. Maybe the conversation isn't going well, or maybe you don't think it is. So you're like, yo, check out my shirt. Blow some hot air in the shirt, and before you know it, she's impressed. Before you know it, you got that phone number, and you can lock in that first date. But the conversation starter happened off on a piece of clothing on your back, and I think that's priceless in so many situations. Even if you don't know what Hypercolor is, technology still reigns supreme, and this is the only place on the planet that you can get it, and that's also surreal to even say. Anytime you can say the only place on the planet is pretty next level.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, I did legally own the Hypercolor trademark. We're the only company on the planet that has the Hypercolor trademark. Even in the lawsuits that were happening, the law firm that bought everything from Genera, they couldn't prove that we owned the Hypercolor logo because they had no paperwork of the Hypercolor logo, which is crazy. So like the word Hypercolor, the way that it's spelled on the shirt, we're the only company on the planet that has that. Even Genera, that sold everything to a law firm in New York City, they didn't get that info. So we're
Genera. How do you spell that?
Genera, Generra, Genera. So that was
the Hypercolor original ownership.
yeah,
So who
Hypercolor
came
by
up with the
Genera.
name? Who came up with the name Hypercolor? Was it some guy, or is it
It was it was one guy that
a good name.
that created the technology. Yeah,
Yeah, because hyper is a great word and color is easy.
right. Yeah,
It's simple.
it's genius, bro. Like everything about it, it just hit the market at the right time. And you know, when we got the trademark in 2012, we had to send cease and desists we send a cease and desist to Nike. We sent a cease and desist to some fingernail company. There was like 3 companies that were using the actual verbiage Hypercolor to promote the color changing shoes that Nike had and color changing fingernail polish. And so like
A cease and desist to Nike.
yeah, we sent one to them.
And Nike, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's new
I've
information.
never seen the paperwork. I've never seen the paperwork. It was when we were running the business. It was Victor Vance Van Drake was
Yeah.
my business partner.
Yeah.
He was part of a law firm, and the second he was like this is one of the reasons why we need to do this. Like there's he brought up the word escalator. So the escalators, that was a trademark. That was a company that created something called the escalator. And then there was other companies that came in and started building escalators and called them escalators when this company had the trademark rights on the word escalator. And so it got to the point where it dilutes it to the point where nobody can now have that trademark. So now escalator is a generic term that anybody can use. Frosted Flakes, same type of scenario. But
Post-its, isn't that also one? Isn't Post-it a
maybe.
company? Post-it is a Post-it. The company's Post-it, but now everyone's like, write out a Post-it.
right.
But it's not a Post-it.
And that's
the company's
so
a Post-it.
so that's a great example. So there's a Xerox, the company Xerox. They had a 2-page article in the New York Times while we were doing this Hypercolor thing, because Vance showed me. He's like, "Hey, I want you to see this." Xerox is taking out a 2-page ad in the New York Times to tell people it's a copy, not a Xerox. Right? It's a copy, not a Xerox. Because if too many people say,
Xerox.
"Go Xerox this, go Xerox this,"
Then they lose their whole thing.
They lose their entire trademark, bro. Because it's become like a household name, and that's what Vance was worried about. Was like, look, bro, like it's already the trend is already happening. Like the word Hypercolor is known for color changing. So if these companies like Nike is using Hypercolor to promote color changing shoes, and this nail company is using the word Hypercolor to promote color changing nail polish, we need to put a stop to this as soon as we can, because every single company that comes out and does this is diluting the profitability of your trademark. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
the word doesn't have feelings about how popular it gets,
Right,
because like the
yeah.
word's just being used because
it's gold dust, bro. Like that's what, like, I tried explaining that before, and it's like, you know, when we create these T-shirts, we can put some dope logos on them. Like I can even do things that you wouldn't be able to see unless you started sweating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like,
which I think is one of the values. A lot of values.
100%, bro. Like if you know, if
Have
we can,
puff
if,
on the outside,
if
and
we
then on the other, like
if we can print on a shirt and it says like all hustle no luck, and it doesn't come out until you're sweating out there in the gym, that's dope, right?
Can you imagine if like you had an eye, and then when the color changes, it's blinking. The colors form when it's a blinking eye. I don't know. It just like. I think that the thing about the Hypercolor, yeah, we got people down here on the levee, people going to the movies, seeing all sorts of stuff.
What comes out tomorrow? There's a good movie that drops tomorrow.
Literally, as I say it, there's people walking down.
Damn.
I don't know. But I got a haircut recently, and my hair feels so light. That's why I didn't wear a hat on this one. I was just like,
man, I need a haircut so bad, bro.
Dude, it was weighing my head down. I needed to get it chopped off. It grows so fast. My hair. I'm very, very grateful for my hair, but I just needed to get. It was just like, it was to the point where I'd have to literally just put all of it up and then put a hat on and just. But the back curls up and you can see it. Like I said, the levees. Hey, Dante.
Dante in the building.
Coming through, checking it out. What's up? What's up?
But yeah, man, what were we talking about?
We're talking about hypercolor and the levee busy and then the Bengals collapse.
Yeah.
So many different. I mean, so the hypercolor, could you imagine if it was like, you had like, maybe like a orange shirt and underneath is white, like make like a Bengal stripe or something?
Yeah,
can you do that? How does that work?
I wish, bro. Like there, like so many people are like, oh, can I get a black shirt that like fades to orange? And it's like, bro, if
that would be sick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it'd be sick,
Change
but that's
the game. That's
like, not how that technology works. It's basically like the way the technology works is we take a white shirt. We dye it neon yellow, and then we wash it, and then we dry it. And so with that neon yellow, that's now submitted into the material, and then we'll take it through another dye process of this Luco dye, which it's crystallized. So it just turns clear at 82 degrees. So you've got blue. Yeah, appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
I like the jackets. That's Keith Haring. Let's go, dude. I don't even think she knew it was a Keith Haring jacket.
They know now.
Yeah. Look, it even has Keith Haring on the back. It's got K Haring on the back. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't know what that is.
Yeah, they didn't react, but you know because you're that guy.
Keith Haring is fucking incredible, bro. You know what? I went down a rabbit hole yesterday about Sean Stussy. Sean Stussy's the shit, bro. The shit. Like, you know Stussy, the brand?
Yeah.
So Stussy was the very first company to start producing hats besides the Major League.
Really?
What? Stussy, let me say it again. Stussy was the first company to start producing hats after the Major League did. No other brand thought of creating hats
to promote themselves,
to promote their own brand.
Because hats existed, obviously, but they promoted their billboard on a hat.
Well, so here's the crazy
hat
thing.
As a billboard.
Sean Stussy was designing his own surfboards, right? He was creating his own surfboards, and I think his dad had the business too. But his dad had a silkscreen business, so he was helping his dad do the silkscreen business at 12. Started doing his own surfboards at 14, and on the surfboards, he wrote Stussy. That was his logo, right, with the 2 dots over the U. And he was going to pop-up shops like Duke Energy Convention Centers to try to sell his surfboards. And he made 3 shirts for himself. That's it. Black shirt, white lettering that said Stussy in his handwriting. And everybody was coming up to him going, where can I get that shirt? And he's like, oh, well, this is just for the staff, but we're promoting our surfboards. And our surfboard has a logo on it. And everybody was like, I don't have money for the surfboard, but I like the logo. I really want to buy the shirt. So he started taking orders for the T-shirt that he had no intention of creating. He was trying to build the surfboard brand. And that convention, he had a pre-sale order for 987 or 984 shirts. that he had no intention of selling at all. And it was only, I think he only sold 24 surfboards, but he sold almost 1,000 T-shirts, bro. And so when he did the next one, he did the same thing. He came out with 2 colors. Came out with a purple shirt and a black shirt, and it had Stussy, but now it had a shadow behind it. So it was like a 2-color logo. Same thing, like trying to sell the boards, everybody wants the T-shirts. And so he was like, okay, well, there's something to this. So he started to create more T-shirts. And then he saw that all it was all skaters and surfers that were all like wearing Stussy, and it was out of California. But then he started seeing that Major League Baseball, like all the kids that were coming into his shop were wearing, the baseball hats. And so he decided to run a small run of just Stussy hats as billboards to promote the brand, and then the shit took the fuck off. And then all of a sudden, surfboards are no longer. Now he's got a clothing brand. And it got to the point where, like, bro, you know what's even crazier? So the second time that he did that fucking Duke Energy convention thing, he was wearing a pair of khakis that he cut at the knee. Right, a pair of chino khakis, like dress pants, had cut at the knee, and people were asking for those at the second convention center that he was at. Sure. And he was this dude is just a style fool. Like, nobody was making khaki shorts like cut off with the frayed on the thing. Yeah. And they were just like, I love them. Can I buy those? And he was like, bro, these are like my work pants that I literally cut off at the knees. So after the convention, calls his seamstress and is like, yo, we're in the pants game now, I guess. Like, we're going to start creating shorts. So started creating the shorts, just chinos cut off at the knees, bro. Like, dude started an entire trend that created the whole skater industry across the entire world, and it came out of California, out of some guy that had no intention of creating this streetwear phenomenon that he did.
Just staff shirts, right?
Just staff shirts. Not only that, like, so, oh, dude, like, I've got to show you. I've got to show you this whole video, because what he did was he grabbed like 7 people from all parts of the world and then put them on his team as like a brand rep team. And he called it the Stussy Tribe, right? The Stussy Tribe.
Genius.
And then made them all, he made 7 jackets, 7 like varsity jackets, sent them to these people who are like brand reps for him. One of them was the owner of Supreme, before Supreme was a thing. So, like, bro, this dude is it's mind-blowing to see like how much threshold this guy had on the entire world. In the Stussy logo, it's all his handwriting, which is what we focus on here, is like the handwriting needs to match the stuff that we ship out, the whole nine. Like, Stussy does all that. So like all of his advertising, it's just all of his basic handwriting that he created into a font. But
that is,
bro, it is so intriguing. Like
it's, one point story.
One of the other guys that he had as one of his tribe members was Nigos, who owns like Bape and all that shit from Tokyo, Japan. And the Stussy shirt that he made that said like New York, LA, Tokyo, Japan, and like Los Angeles or whatever, like they thought that these were the storefronts that Stussy had. He was like, no, bro, these 7 states or 7 cities, countries, whatever, like this is where the tribe was from. That's why I created that whole shirt. It was like we had one dude in Tokyo, one dude in LA, one dude in New York, and so I decided to make a shirt to rep each one of my fucking brand reps.
That is okay. First off,
bro, he created hats for a clothing brand.
He created hats, but he created a new culture. He gave it a base point,
bro.
A purpose, a base point. He gave it a ignition point, a starting line, and then not only did he know when to pivot, and even though he wanted his passion as surfboards, he knew that
he's doing it right now, bro. Now,
are there surfboards at all?
What, on the market?
did he ever get any surfboards sold other than the 20?
Yeah, I'm sure he did, but now he's like late 40s, early 50s, and him and his son are now recreating a new brand called S Squared, which is Sean Stussy, S Squared, and it's him and his son who are now back to the fucking basics, bro. Now he's teaching his son how to fucking make surfboards.
What?
That is so ill, bro.
That is full circle.
Full circle.
And what a fulfilling life, I bet. Like, he's probably feeling like...
And Stussy's still on top of the game, bro. That's the thing. Like, they went to a point where, like, you could find Stussy and TJ Maxx. You know, you could definitely find it in, like, Zoomies and PacSun. But, you know, then you can find it at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And he pulled back from all that, bro. Like, they went from... like being this cool brand to mass marketing to getting into Zoomies, PacSun, being worldwide, and then all of a sudden going, you know what? Let's bring it back. We're no longer selling to Zoomies. We're no longer selling to PacSun. We're gonna drop them in boutiques again. So they went from being the cool brand, oversaturated, and then getting down here where it's starting to sell at TJ Maxx, and then they just pumped the brakes, bro, and this thing went back this way and up the ladder somehow. Like, it's fucking phenomenal to see like how they're maneuvering everything. Because Stussy, I remember in the 90s, bro, like even there were white kids that were like, oh, I can't wear this around black people because Stussy means like something negative towards black people. And it was like that was such a fallacy. Like no one... That was just a rumor, you know what I mean? And it was just one of those things where it was like white skater kids from LA didn't realize that, you know, I mean, once it infiltrated into Chicago, like the Chicago kids were like, black people don't fuck with this. You know what I mean? And it was like, it was one of those things where like my boy at the time thought that Stussy meant something negative or racist towards other people.
It's unfortunate, the stigma.
Well, and that's 12-year-old kids, bro. You know what I mean? That's 12-year-old kids hearing one thing and then running and telling 10 people.
Right, and that 10 people's got new information, and before you know it, spreads like wildfire.
Right.
Yeah, because everyone wants a negative thing to say.
Yeah, but like Stussy, bro, like when it comes to the logos and stuff, like they're bringing back the vintage things, and I don't even think like at this time, I don't even think he owns Stussy anymore. I think he sold the entire company. Because I saw a post of his that said something. They redropped like this brown hat with an 8-ball on it with the Stussy logo over top, and like Sean Stussy in the comments like, this is the reason why we don't repeat what we produce. Like this hat had a meaning. The colors, everything about this hat had a meaning for the time that it came out. Because it was like, you know, he was before Kanye when it came to the earthy tones, bro. Like, he only fucked with browns, grays, neutrals, and blacks. Like, he was on this like streetwear like mentality where like it was nothing other than what you can find on the streets. It's got to be dirt. It's got to be black. It's got to be gray. It's got to be something that you can find in the middle of the street. You know, that's only the colors that he fucked with for the time that he was trying to like bring up the brand.
It's just like dark stuff. Dark colors.
I mean, it's just
street.
opposite of what everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? Like when everybody's going blue, reds, and yellows, he's going black, browns, and grays. You know, back in the '80s when nobody was like wanted to be that dark, demented brand. You know what I mean?
I like that though.
For sure, bro. I mean, now it's a normality to want that Kanye West color, to want that faded earth tone. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the time, it was like. And it was probably incredibly hard to find, too, at that. You know, when you think about it now, like, you know, Bella Canvas has 39 different colors on their main tee. Maybe even 47 now that I think about it. In the fucking 80s, how many colors do you think were available? You know what I mean? Like, maybe brown, you know, but it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be these earthy, beautiful fucking earthy tones that we see now. It's going to be Builder brown, bro.
Builder, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think you said that he was like, you know, ahead of the game, or maybe even outside of that, maybe he was just fill in a gap that was available, fill in a void. Maybe it was there for the taking. Anyone could have come into that space. He was at the right place at the right time, and then it elevated him so he could use that money and that strength to
Right, but and I don't think he knew at the time what he was doing. You know,
okay.
not
He didn't see all the brands being bright colored and him being.
There was no other brands, bro. This was the '80s. Like Supreme wasn't around. Supreme.
True.
So the owner of Supreme was just some guy from New York City who liked Stussy. You know what I mean? So the whole brand of Supreme fed off of what Sean was doing with Stussy. So he was in a lane of his own at the time, bro. Like, it's crazy to think that in the '80s, like, there was really no competition for streetwear because people looked down on skaters. Like, they didn't want that mentality of we were promoting the misfits and this and that. Like, now it's cool to do that. You know what I mean? But back in the day, it's like, why would I? JCPenney's isn't going to put my clothes in their catalog if I'm pushing to the misfits who are smoking weed on the streets.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like he found some and I've never heard him describe it, but it seems like he's just felt that like normality with that type of crowd. You know what I mean? Being a surfer himself, I'm sure, like,
he had enough passion. If he cared about the boards that much when he was releasing the boards, that tells you the passion was always there. He just had to redirect his passion just to get further along. Like, he pivoted,
bro.
As good as it gets.
You never know what your end product's going to be. You know what I mean? Like, he sat there and was obsessed with surfing, and the boards look good, bro. Like, the boards looked like creme de la creme of 1990s surfboard. You know what I mean? Black with like the neon greens and neon pink, like laser etching, like behind the logo, the white Stussy logo that's across the board. Like, they look gorgeous, bro. But at the end of the day, like he was saying, like nobody can afford a $300 board, but they can afford a $20 T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He can afford a few T-shirts. You know what I mean? And the board is a commitment. Not only is a commitment on what you're purchasing, but if you have to have already been probably involved in surfing, or learning is
how do I get this to the beach? Like, how do I get it home from the beach? Like, I'm gonna have to buy things for my car. Does my car even fit it? There's so many variables when it comes to owning a surfboard.
And then if you're already a big time surfer and you're in that world, you might already have a brand that you're committed to because that's what your everyday ride is.
I want to see if I can find an original Stussy fucking surfboard.
Yeah, let's see it. I just think the whole idea that you pivoted from creating this extreme sport item to selling T-shirts and hats and creating the hat outside of the Major League Baseball, hats where you're promoting your brand on a billboard on your head, if you will. So he was just definitely clearly a visionary at the very least.
Yeah, bro, with probably not even realizing that he's doing it at the time.
Yeah. Just living in real time and thinking about the possibilities. And
all right, I found one board, $7,000.
So okay.
Okay, so here's the S double. So here's the new ones. So that's the new logo there. And I think that's like recent. Like, I don't know. I need to look it up, but I think like S double is within the past year that they've revamped this or like rebrought this new brand out.
I mean, I don't know what that means outside of maybe Stussy double, but
What's that?
I don't know what S double would mean, but it's. I mean, board looks nice.
SW. It's S dub, S squared, like S.
Oh, because of his son and him.
Yeah, Sean Stussy, 2 S's.
Oh, okay. And his son, what's his son's name?
So that's like that's the original boards, bro. Like,
oh,
So that was one of them.
That's a nice signature.
Oh, it's killer, bro. It's so 90s, man. Let me see this one board that I was obsessed with, man. Yeah, but I can 100% see why people are like, I just want the logo, dude. Like, look at this board right here. Like, that Stussy logo is fire.
That is a great looking board.
Trying to find the one that I saw, bro. It was like the epitome of like a 90s style skateboard surfboard. Yeah, here's a couple. Anyways, yeah, it's something I definitely need to show
I like
you,
the
bro.
right board a lot.
Yeah, I gotta send you that link, man, because it's such an interesting story. Like you don't realize the journey that these people have made to get to the point. You know what I mean? Like I was probably 14 years old when I first heard about Stussy. No, I was probably 10 or 11. You just think that, oh, it's a brand, it's a new thing. Like you don't realize that like there's people like you and I that have worked fucking endlessly, day after day after day, year after year, to get to that point where we're a household name now. You know what I mean? And like, it's cool to see at a, you know,
Grassroots level.
on a grassroots level, yeah, on how like, yeah, there we go, some more people showing up. Levy's, what was it? 9 o'clock. People are still hanging out.
Yeah, the movies are continuously letting out every about 15 to 20 minutes, I would say. I'm seeing new groups of people kind of filter down the stairs, and due to the nature of things right now and how it works, we are the only store open, and it gives people the opportunity to come in here, check out what we're doing. We're live streaming, so people can see us. People are hopping in and out of the Instagram feed and the Facebook feed and this YouTube feed. So appreciate you all for tuning in as we discuss the Bengals, streetwear, Levy Life, Blink, Hypercolor, Deuces, Beyond the Stage, surfboards, all the good stuff. We got a lot. There's a lot going on, and if you know, you know. You know what I mean? I do want to say this weekend, there was quite a lot of people from out of town again. Getting through this weekend, man. A lot of people from out of town. San Francisco, I met quite a few people from there. A few shirts went out to L.A. A few shirts went to Michigan. A few shirts went to Chicago. I was selling from all over on Saturday, actually. Saturday was it was an interesting day. Yeah. Sunday was a little weird. Sunday, the Bengals whole situation it takes the wind out of our sails.
Yeah, bro.
Because people are watching the game somewhere, so they're not really hyper focused to the levy for that. Because the game is being shown, but the viewership out here, there might be only about 5 to 10 people that are watching the game out here, and they're the usual people. You know, it's not like we're seeing new faces. It's not promotion down here. You know, and obviously it was a home game on Sunday, so people are at the banks and they're really in the environment there, but the levy does not see the traction when game even ends. Actually,
I talked to Justin Tice today about that. He doesn't. They're cool with promoting and wanting to set up like a whole thing for the playoffs down here, but when it comes to the weekly games, they don't want to take anything away from 16 Lots, Brothers, you know. Any of these places that play the game.
But when you want to get more people down here to give the opportunity.
Well, and that's why I told him. You know? I said there's two things I would do. Either one, I would play the game on the Jumbotron and then have the sound on all the speakers throughout the levee. And then I would have Brothers and all these places have little beer booths outside. Just outside their doors, where somebody can come up and grab a beer and go right back to the game. I would do that, or I would do the sound on across the levee with no TVs on, where they can, if they want to watch it, then they can go into 16 Lots Brothers or one of those places
and see the video. Yeah.
So then
And they could put
you
they could put a message on here to continue with watching the video.
yeah.
Go into these
100%.
places. These are locations where it's being shown, and head to our businesses, and they could hear the audio.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's genius, because that's going to give people FOMO.
Yeah.
You know, and
Just
he,
right up
you know,
here.
he said right away, he's like, well, you know, we don't want people. He's like, we've tried that with having like beer vendors outside of the 16 lots or outside of Brothers, and he's like, we really don't want to steer people away from going into the place. And I told him, I was like, look, man, there's a lot of families down here where if a dad can sneak away to grab a beer without having to walk into an establishment, he's going to do it. You know what I mean? Like if mom, dad, and the kids are right here, and he can just run over to this side of the out, you know, just grab a beer and go right back to the kids, it's going to be a win. But if he has to go into Brothers, and he's got to go stand at the bar, and he's got to wait for a drink, then pay with his credit card, the whole nine, chances are he's not going to go in to do that, because he's not going to leave the family out on the sidewalk. You know what I mean? But and if people are going to eat, they're going to go in anyway. So like, I really feel like you're not losing any money. You're just going to reap the benefits of the people that do want a quick beer without having to run into establishment and elbow their way into a bar.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's also a thing, is when you're trying to gain large crowds to watch a game, you want the environment to be something where everyone there is in the mentality that we're going to enjoy this game all together, so the whole room can cheer together rather than just tables by themselves. You want to be able to high five the dude right next to you. You know, you want to be able to, like, that's what makes the bank so much fun, because when people are watching at Tin Roof or watching at
DJ
Hoyker,
Merck out in the building.
hey,
what's up, buddy?
What's up? But you want when they score a touchdown, when they get the big play to Jamar Chase, you want to be able to high five that stranger next to you.
Mm-hmm.
That creates an environment that's fun to watch football in,
Oh, yeah.
and everyone enjoys it. I don't care what walk of life you are; everyone is in it together. I'll be in here, and it's kind of funny because I watch Red Zone and the game at the same time on our system here, but the crowd or the
dads.
well, no, yeah,
No.
well, the people out here watching the game are about 5 seconds ahead of me. So anytime something happens, I hear a whoa, 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 whoa. So then about 5 seconds later, I see the play in real time on my TV, and I'm like, oh man! But I hear the shouting, and that is that brings people together. That's like what makes it fun to watch. That it's watching it with people, you know. And if the levy really wants to double down on this environment and the experience, you got to push people where the TVs are and give them the sound, because the sound keeps the energy going as they'll rush to the spot. They'll rush there.
Bengals,
You know what I mean?
third down.
Exactly. I need to get
Third
inside.
and 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, we have to get somewhere. Why is the TV not on here? But the TV says go to 16 lots. Oh, let's get over here real quick. We can come back to native, whatever. But like, they're gonna rush to these locations to see it on the TV.
I like that idea. I like the idea of almost having a map where it's like $2 beers in the game this way, you know, fucking $4 shots this way. You know, I like that. I love the idea. I've always loved when I can walk into the bathroom and still hear the game. Doesn't matter what bar it is. Like, there's always something to it where, like,
Yeah.
I can run to
I
the
agree.
bathroom. I'm not going to miss anything.
Yep. The Reds are good. I mean, they're good about letting you hear it
Yeah.
everywhere you go. If you go into a Red stadium, you hear what's happening. Like, you know, 3 balls. He's got to get a strike now. Like, you know what I mean? And then you hear the announcers. So like, and it you just know, like, you don't have to rush the whole experience because you're listening to it happen. And the only thing you're going to feel rushed at is when that pitcher throws the ball and the dude hits a home run and you're in the bathroom. That's like, oh, dang, man. But I heard it. Where were you when he hit that home run? I was in the bathroom, man. And you might have a story on your own. Like,
Yeah, you're fucking zipping up.
yeah, like trying to rush out there. And like, you know, and speaking of which, still, rest in peace to Pete Rose, man. I was at last night, speaking of the Reds, I was driving by the stadium and I saw the in memory, like at the statue with all like the signage, and like they have like the what are they called, the trestles, whatever, around that, like around it, the red. I was like, oh man, they did him so, they treat him like he should be treated, and to think he's just never gonna see any opportunity to get that Hall of Fame, it's just man.
Yeah, Trump said they need to put him in the Hall of Fame before he's buried.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
No, he's not getting in. I don't know if he's ever going to. I think the MLB is going to hold their ground, I feel.
That's crazy.
My opinion. I mean, they've held their ground this whole time.
Right.
They don't have to budge because now he's not going to fight for himself.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. They should do the right thing. Put him in, bro.
Do the right thing. Put him in. Like,
I mean, you can't have the history of baseball without Pete Rose. You know what I mean?
His records are in there.
I mean,
his literally like his hitting records in there. He just as a Hall of Fame player is not.
Yeah.
Like his own baseballs that he got those runs in are in there. His record is in there. No one is. I don't know. No one's ever going to top the hitting record because baseball's not played like that anymore. It's not. Baseball's different.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like they will put him in at some point. At some point,
baseball will bend like that. If they bend, they're
bend what though? Like he bet on his team to win, bro. It's not like he fucking was playing the odds and betting on his team to lose.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like what he did was any worse or any lesser than. I'm saying
Shohei Ohtani, bro. Fucking
right. We don't even know the outcome to that situation. That's been
just
swept under the rug.
Blew it out on the rug. Yep.
Baseball is one of the most prideful games, even more than NFL. Because NFL, we think prideful, the no fun league, NFL. That's what everyone said for a while. But baseball, they added that clock with the most resistance I've ever seen of a shot clock.
Yeah,
it's just a shot clock.
Yeah,
it's all it is. You have to shoot baseball.
Bases.
Yeah, but you have to shoot a basketball in a certain amount of time. You have to hike the football in a certain amount of time. Every sport, you have to have a certain amount of time. The pitchers have all day.
Right.
They can just big chill and let the batter wait, and also the batter puts the bat down and the pitcher can just wait. No, you have 18 seconds. Pitch the ball.
Right.
Like, but baseball took forever to adopt that. Forever.
Yeah.
They just don't move fast. So because that's the case, I just don't see them budging when they have strong held this gatekeeping situation to keep a man out of the Hall of Fame. I just don't see him going, all right, well now he's gone, so let's just stick him in despite everything we believe in as a league, even though I and you believe that it's wrong. But they have stuck by their guns. I don't think they break that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. For better or worse. I'm sorry. But,
all right. We'll see.
We'll see. But I just, one man's opinion, that's all.
I mean, I don't think they're going to do it anytime soon. You know what I mean? I don't think.
But when would they, okay, let's say 5 years pass. And he's been gone for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is it any louder? It's less loud.
It's definitely less loud. I think that's why they'll wait 5 years to put him in. But is it
less loud in the sense for his pushing to get him in? Because now he's gone. He's already got a lifetime ban. His lifetime is over. So is the ban done? You know? And it's just... I just feel like baseball is just gonna stay.
He's made this goddamn league so much money, bro.
Yeah.
And he hasn't made fucking shit back. Like the 80s, they didn't get paid anything.
I am on the side of him getting the Hall of Fame. I just don't think it's gonna happen because baseball is they just don't want to get innovative. They just don't want to be ahead. They're not like going for the young people, dude. Right. They're still going for my dad's age. Like they're going for the older guy. They love the older generation just being for baseball. But what happens when the older people aren't have the advantage of being on TVs. Like what?
Let me.
Eventually, it's gonna have to go.
Here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen.
Sure.
There's gonna be a year where the Hall of Fame pool is low, where they go, fuck. We don't have any bangers to fucking add into the Hall of Fame.
We need publicity.
Who are we gonna put in? Let's throw Pete and let's throw his name in there. Let's just throw it out there. See what kind of ruckus we get.
Okay.
I think that'll happen.
So you're talking about them. So you're talking about them going the opposite of their normal business plan and creating chaos, rather than trying to avoid chaos, because they really try to avoid chaos.
I mean, like
have.
I don't know how the Hall of Fame pick goes, right? Like Ken Griffey was just. Was Ken Griffey just
Senior?
abducted? No, junior.
Junior. It was like senior. Junior is Perez, but actual Hall of Fame.
If he's not in the Hall of Fame yet, then
he's got made some time.
Then Pete has 15 years before he's even.
He's not even getting considered. He's
considered.
not. He doesn't get considered because Pete doesn't get considered because Pete broke the rules. Griffey never broke the rules. Griffey.
I know. What I'm saying is there is going to be a year where they don't have any name to put in the Hall of Fame.
So they got clickbait,
and they're gonna have to use somebody. And 10 years down the road, it's gonna be, hey, what about that Pete dude?
Oh, that Pete dude that only has the most hits.
Yeah. What about Charlie Hustle? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how the MLB really does it. If they care if there's Hall of Fame inductees or not. You know what I mean? Is that a big thing for them every year where they
it's a big deal.
they try to bring people down to Cooperstown? Then if it is, then yeah, I think after Ken Griffey and Rodriguez, A-Rod, and like all these people are like finally inducted, I think they'll fucking bring them in finally.
It just depends on how stubborn and how they. I mean, stubborn is, I guess.
Who's the owner? Bud. Bud, what's his name? Not the owner, but the commissioner. Bud's not Bud Siegel. I don't know. Anyways,
I just think the MLB just has this idea that they are above what he did, and because they think they're above what he did, he is below the threshold, and he doesn't make the cut no matter what year it is because he broke their coveted rule.
How long has Pete been out of baseball? 30-something years,
yeah.
84, so 40 years. He's been promoting your fucking game
This whole time.
For 40 years. He's been promoting your sport.
Your product.
The same product that you guys banned him from. He's been promoting every single day for 40 years. And still says he loves this game.
Still says he wouldn't change his career outside of maybe that. He did say he would have rather admitted it early because he lied about it.
Of course, you're gonna lie about it, yeah.
Right. He said he would have came out earlier and gave the truth, but he said what had happened was he had already lied in a smaller stature conversation, and it built up and became a big thing. Dante seems to have wants to say something. You want to say something, bro?
I was just about to wrap up too, so we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Yeah, we're about to wrap it up, but if you want to say something, man, that's cool. Yeah, but it's just like at the end of the day, like I don't know, how stubborn does MLB want to be? Because I feel like Calvin Ridley in the NFL, he did some shit, and they let him only have 1 year suspension, and now he's back in the league just fine.
Deshaun Watson. I think that's way worse than betting on your team to win.
Yeah. What? Give us your quick take, and we're gonna wrap this up here soon, man.
Oh. I kind of heard you touch on it near the end, but you didn't. To me, you didn't follow all the way through. So, okay. So we got the lie, right?
Yeah.
And how many years did he lie? And they even came to him, and they said, and when the new commissioner came in, he said, "Look, you tell me the truth, and we'll let you in right now." And he goes, "No, I didn't do it." But
He doubled down.
the reason why they're being stubborn is because what happened? Right after he refused to tell the truth, when it got to the point where he could put money in his pocket, he came out with the book and then he admitted it. The former player for the Phillies, I think his name's Mike Schmidt.
Okay, yeah.
He was pissed. He was like, "Wait, I've been taking heat from all my friends and family for years defending you, and now you come out with a book and say you did it?" Oh, he was pissed. So I get what you're saying. And I'm not saying that he doesn't belong in, but at the same time, the MLB might be doubling down, but who started it first? Because they were telling him the whole time, like, dude, just admit it. Dude, just admit it. We know you did it. Just admit it. We know you did it.
Yeah. We know
So-
the answer already.
So you wouldn't admit it when they even sat down with you multiple times. They put it across the media. They let everybody know, like, "Hey, everybody, we'll let him in. Somebody tell him to tell the truth," and nothing happened. But then he comes out with a book to put money in his pocket, and then all of a sudden, you did do it. It's like, so
Yeah.
wait. So why could you admit it to put money in your pocket, but you couldn't admit it when they were right there? Everybody was right there. We're like, dude, here's the door. You're in. All
Yeah.
you got to do is admit it. Like, nope, won't do it.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Hey,
So
here, we'll put some money
if
in
he
your
had
pocket."
the opportunity to be in the Hall of Fame at that time, and he chose the path of the most resistance.
So is the MLB really wrong for doubling down?
I don't think so. I think they're in the.
That's all I'm saying. I believe I was a fan.
Formidable Justice.
I saw him on the tail end of his career because I was living down here, actually. So I was a fan of him. I even got to meet him about 5-10 years back. He just happened to be at SmackDown. I saw a crowd of people near where I was sitting, and lo and behold, he was standing there. And I walked up, shook his hand, and totally nice guy. And I'm with you. I would like to see him in too, but
yeah.
when you
The
present
book,
all
book
the
really,
evidence,
that book comment, it really does double down on where the MLB is standing. Because think about it, like if you were basically trying to get him to admit it, and you know the answer, and he comes out and admits it after he says no to you 100 times, and he admits in his book in order to gain a profit, after he was gaining profits from the betting on the team, I guess that constitutes as a lifetime ban. But like I said earlier, his life, as we know it, is now moved on to the next. So his lifetime is now ended, which means is the ban done?
depends on whose definition of lifetime, because the word lifetime does not have an actual expiration unless somebody puts an expiration on it. So, because lifetime could mean everybody's lifetime, it doesn't necessarily
Fair.
mean his lifetime. They didn't say for your lifetime. This ain't like being in court, like life in prison, and then to make sure, like, just in case you die and come back to life, we'll give you consecutive life sentences. No, it could very well mean lifetime.
Yeah.
While everybody
Eternity.
is still alive. Right, yeah.
An eternal ban of from baseball lore.
Now,
But he is the hit king, and his records are in the Hall of Fame, and his baseballs and items that he owned. So
it would be nice to see him get in. They did it to Joe Paterno. If we want to be fair with something, although technically the only thing Joe Paterno was guilty of was being too famous.
yeah.
Because technically, when the investigation was done, he was the only one out of everybody at Penn State that actually cooperated, and they basically threw him to the wolves because everybody considered him king. And then after he died, because he sat at home, got depressed, and he died. A lot of people may not know it. All his records they gave back to him.
Yeah.
So in that regard, although the details are clearly different, it could, like he said, it could happen. It could happen. Give it some time after he dies, and then they kind of sneak it in. If you're not sitting in front of the TV, you may not know about it. Because the only reason I knew about it because I just happened to be in front of the TV and somebody mentioned it. And they mentioned that the NCAA decided to give him all his because they didn't feel basically Penn State threw him to the wolves, even though technically everybody but him was guilty because everybody but him told lies and tried to hide it.
And the deceit. I think the deceit is what we're mostly all focused on, and that's it's just unfortunate. The whole thing is just sad. Because I mean, as I don't want to end the podcast on a negative note. We're about to wrap things up with this a little bit. We'll just do our predictions for the Bengals going forward. But I appreciate your take, Dante. It's just it's unfortunate in general because
It is.
It just we all looked up to what he did on for our city and made our team have probably the best baseball team that's ever set foot on a baseball field with the Big Red Machine, and he was a pivotal part of the Reds organization, and he made some pivotal mistakes, and now he lays to rest. And I just think that Major League Baseball is not going to budge because they weren't budging after everything else, and I don't think they have that much sympathy for him for it. And for better or worse, now unless it's a new commissioner down the line and a new set of maybe forward-thinking, progressive owners and league council, unless that's the case, I just don't see them, budging on that. So I just believe Pete Rose is gonna be on the outside looking in.
If the fans really clamor for it, there's
they have been.
Well, I mean,
they have been.
No, I mean, no, I don't mean just Reds fans. I mean
baseball fans.
It has to be so huge it can't be ignored.
So good they can't ignore you. Yeah, but I just don't think the baseball is budging on that. I just don't think so. They're just not the type of organization. MLB is just not the type of. They're just not that way, and I don't know how to explain it, but I have this feeling in the pit of my stomach that he's not getting it, and I hate to say that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope I'm literally 2 weeks from now they're like, hey man, we just want to come out and here's a statement. We wish we would have done this before Pete passed. We've been talking about it. I hope something happens like that, but
well, I was wrong. So Bud Selig is who I was thinking of, and I didn't realize that Bud Selig retired in 2015 because I thought Bud was the one dude that was holding on to that grudge with Pete Rose, and I thought that once Bud finally stopped being commissioner of Major League, that they would have a new heart for it. But apparently Bud Selig is no longer commissioner as of 2015. That's how much I paid attention to this. So
I love how you're over there researching all this stuff and getting it learned. I'm like
9 years ago.
So the commissioner now, what is their stance on it? Obviously,
I don't even know who this dude is. Who the commissioner is, man.
If it's in-house, that might have something to do with it. If he's an in-house guy,
Rob Manfred.
Yeah.
Never heard his name before.
Yeah.
Bud Selig all day.
I know his name. When you say that, I know his name. Yeah, because I hear it. But
I said Bud Siegel. I was thinking Bugsy Siegel.
Bugsy Siegel. But Bugs. But MLB is still not budging.
No.
And that just is not.
No, that disheartened my
your take?
My take right there when I realized that Bud he's been gone for 9 years.
Dude, Pete Rose is the biggest scapegoat / example we've ever seen. Ever. Bro, Deshaun Watson is on an NFL field, and he literally has 30 cases against him. That's crazy.
And how many of them has he been convicted of yet? Because remember,
I'm pretty sure money's getting him out of a
'cause-
lot of things, dude.
Because the biggest
don't
technical scapegoat is Ray Rice, because you
Oh,
give him
yeah,
you give
yeah,
him a
but-
you
but
give,
he got basically canceled. Ray Rice went through a lot.
yeah, he got canceled by Goodell,
Everybody
and a lot of people
but,
don't know it.
Yes, but Pete Rose, why he goes further is because Pete Rose is way more beloved on by not only Reds fans but the whole league. They're just he bet on baseball, blah 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 blah. He like it is what it is. He did something that we're able to legally do now. Where Ray Rice and that whole situation was much more human to human. I just don't see the betting on baseball as quite as the same level as physically imposing your will on another person in any setting, whether it's on an elevator or whether it's in like I mean, dude.
Don't get me wrong.
Last night, Kareem Hunt played in a National Football League game for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he had a whole issue back in the day.
That's
if you can
why
remember,
he disappeared.
yeah, and he got a chance with the
KC
Browns.
got rid of him.
He had a chance with the Browns and all that, but now he's back, and he literally had on fantasy football. I picked him up on. I actually had picked him up for one of my leagues, and he scored like 18 points. Like I needed like 20 something in order to win. I did lose, but either way, he had a great game, scored a touchdown, and he was basically canceled out of the league. Like, and clearly, athletically, dude's just fine. Kareem Hunt, just fine, just fine. That dude, he can run, he can break the tackles, he's good. His dreads looking as dreaded ever. Like what I mean? He's just fine. But clearly, he got canceled out of the league. It wasn't about athletic ability because that dude's got it.
He did.
I just watched the dude to be in a starting running back because Pacheco's going to come back and Kareem Hunt could live with him.
His happened
And to that
not
level.
too long after the Ray Rice thing.
He did.
So he had to go. But the ironic part about that was depending on whose team you're with, there was one person that got to play longer until his talent actually let him go out of the league. That would be Greg Hardy.
Oh, Greg Hardy. Yeah.
And he actually
Haven't heard that
did
name in drops in a while.
way worse than what he made. What Ray Rice did look like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Baby girl was in the hospital, ribs was broke, and she was all bruised up. They showed pictures, but he got to play on Dallas because he played under Jerry for about 2-3 more years.
Yeah,
And he actually got convicted in court.
Yeah. But it's because our society looks at things at such a backwards mentality where they just
Depending on who it is,
depending on who it is, the checks you can write,
people get a pass.
People get a pass. But man, I just think that despite what how everyone feels, what Pete did happened such a long time ago, and now betting is legal, even though you can't do what he did, even in this current landscape. Those games, he was betting for them to win. So even taking those facts out of it, a lifetime ban seems so harsh to me. And we've talked about that. But it's just these other athletes are doing such ridiculous things that they deserve the ban. But they're not getting it. Whether the NFL can answer that or not. But, yeah, man, I just know that Pete is Cincinnati appreciates him, and clearly his statue and his display outside of the stadium right now looks amazing, and the city definitely showed their appreciation. And that's really what it comes down to, regardless if he makes it into the Hall of Fame or not.
I mean, bro, you saw the entire nation stop and mourn when he passed away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just Cincinnati. It was every news station, every sports station. Everybody was talking about him, bro. Like, and these are things that people need to realize. Like, he wasn't just a Cincinnati icon. He was an icon for the sport. You know what I mean? And that deserves something a little bit more than a lifetime ban. Like, when he hasn't played the game in 40 years, bro. And when you pass away, all the sports centers, all the sports commentators, they're all giving their take. They're all telling their Pete Rose story. There's something to that, bro. There's something way beyond the lifetime ban that deserves. You know what I mean? Like when you've affected so many people, when the sports announcers are saying, I wouldn't be here announcing this game today if it wasn't for Pete Rose. Yeah. Like when people say things like that, like you've got to take that into consideration, bro. Like he's done more than just played the game. He has formed the game, and even after he was banned, he still doubled down and promoted the shit out of the same company that threw him to the side, bro.
Right. And when you and to double on your point before we wrap this up, there's some of the announcers and these like TV personalities for the MLB that are telling you where they were when they saw or heard he got the world record, the hit record.
Yeah.
They'll tell you where they were at, like when Elvis passed, kind of thing. Like where I was, like they were talking these stories. Like, man, I was here watching, I was covering this game, and we couldn't stop covering the Reds game from a totally different game.
Right.
Like, we couldn't stop talking about it, and we were covering a totally different game. And they're like, yeah, luckily that game didn't have a lot going on, so we didn't have to worry about it. But like, we were covering Pete Rose from across the country.
It's not easy to do in the 80s.
Exactly. You don't cover other games while you're covering a game. That's not. You check on the highlights later. Like, you don't cover another game. But when you're covering that many hits that will never be done, he's doing something like, we're talking to human. This isn't a game.
So, question.
Yeah.
So, in other words, what you're saying is, if you've had a monumental positive effect,
sure, you should be banned.
You get a pass for whatever you did wrong. Now, I need you to keep in mind that you're opening up Pandora's box.
Sure.
I mean,
understand.
So if you have a positive effect,
one's got to outweigh the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think 40 years of promoting the same company that you were barred from.
But do you see what I'm saying? It's because
I see what you're saying.
The reason why you're going to open Pandora's box is because then everybody's going to be like, okay, well, how come my guy can't get in? He hasn't been in the league.
Did you spend 40 years promoting it after you were banned? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Okay,
did you?
But he had a positive effect. I mean, yeah, the person may not have done everything for one reason or another, whatever the reason it may be.
Who else is banned from the Hall of Fame?
It's not a long list.
Not a long list, but pretty sure that there's a chosen few that won't be getting in.
Is Barry Bonds?
Barry Bonds
Sammy
probably
Sosa,
won't.
Mark McGwire, all those guys that
those
were like
three.
those
Canseco, even though Canseco told on everybody, he's probably still not getting in.
Yeah, Jose Canseco's another one.
He's gone a little off kilter, bro. He
did.
He doesn't rep the major league right now. You can go on a Sasquatch hunting tour with Jose Canseco right now.
Excuse me.
So he's not promoting baseball like Pete Rose does.
Cool,
let's not put these two in the same category.
No, but
I love the Bash Brothers, bro. Don't get me wrong. Like when we talk about '90s baseball, like I know my shit.
The
like,
Monster Mash, yes.
The Jose and Mark McGwire, bro. Like the two of them together were just fucking phenomenal. But
we're not talking about Pete Rose here because obviously Pete Rose handled differently. But to be chasing Sasquatch is
that's what he does now. You can pay
amazing.
You can pay like $500 or whatever it is, and you can go Sasquatch hunting with Jose Canseco.
He had to do something to keep making money, because once he started telling on everybody, he pretty much got blackballed.
That's amazing.
Yeah, who was his girlfriend too that crashed all of his, or was that Andre Rison? That was Andre Rison with he had a crazy girlfriend that fucking crashed all of his cars and burned his shit up.
He cheated on her and she set his house on fire.
Yeah.
Left Eye.
It was Left Eye.
Left Eye.
Yeah, it was Left Eye.
Dante knows this shit.
Yeah.
And like,
I was actually in a foster home up in Flint, Michigan. His parents lived across the street from me.
Oh.
That's wild. That's stupid for him to cheat on Left Eye. She was bad.
Oh yeah.
You can go chase Sasquatch with him? That's like that. I can't even get off. That's amazing.
You sound like you're ready to go.
I
You
mean,
sound
that's
like
cool.
you're
That's
ready
really
to
cool.
go.
I mean,
it would definitely be a cool weekend.
right? I mean, but he is not Pete Rose, and I understand that. And Pete Rose is getting blackballed to the point that they are making an example beyond an example, and
trying to push forward like, hey,
5,000 is what it costs.
if you do this, this is what you have to look forward to. I'm like I said, I'm with you. I could see reasons why he should be in, and I'm with you. But at the same time,
start one, have to do another.
yeah, because then people are going to do like you guys were doing. It's like, oh, but he did this but this guy did this in the community, and he did this, and I have so many memories. They can also go, I was sitting here when he did this and he did that, and like I said, you're going to open Pandora's box, and then you see the way of the world and where it's going. It's like, wait, if he got in, how come my guy can't get in? And then, God forbid, they start pulling a race card, and that's another conversation.
Yeah, you just don't want too many gray areas. That's really what it comes down to. The gray areas that you're basically opening up to gray area. And Major League Baseball is very big on black and white. This is how we do things, and I get it for sure. Hey, what's up? Appreciate you, Bradley. Shout out from Oklahoma.
Let's go.
Hey, appreciate
Oklahoma in the building.
Right? But I think we should wrap this up, man. It's been a good podcast. Talk about some Bengals, Reds, Blink, Beyond the Stage. We talked a little Deuces. We talked a little bit about Hypercolor.
Let's go.
Man, it's just there's a lot going on. October's here. It's crazy to think we're in month 10 already. I feel like this year has been it's a blur. It's
Christmas
fast.
time, bro. Right around the corner. Let's go.
Yeah.
Christmas time.
I know. And we are getting low on the boards, by the way. So anyone that wants to get one of the we have very few of these. We got the Mars Blackman
skateboards. Yeah, we have probably less than 10, maybe.
Mm-hmm. We're getting very low down to them. So
I still only know of one hollow board that was found.
Yeah.
So that means there's still there's a 25% chance now, probably.
Yeah. I know I've watched someone open a gold one. I've seen a gold one be opened right out here. I told them to film it, and I watched them open it like right out here with not their cameras out. I like literally just. I was like, I would have filmed you just 30 feet away. You could have opened inside the door. I would have filmed you, but they opened it right on this table.
Yeah.
I saw the goal. I saw him walk away, and I was like, well, that would have been a cool video, but
it's all good.
It's all good, I just want to give people their shine. That's all,
For sure. You never know how you're gonna react though when you're opening. Like, I don't want this one. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Yeah. People are weird around cameras, but that's all good.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. When the lights come on, people sometimes shy up,
Yep. All right, man. This is going to wrap up another episode of the PowWow. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you want to be a part or if you want to sponsor the podcast, get a hold of one of us. Until next time, it's your boy Jay Banks, AI Dante. Hey, let's go.
Hey.
All right, man. We'll see you next week.
Later. Out, y'all. Bye. We out here. And I'm writing music. That's so much fun. I enjoy writing music.